Previously on There Be Dragons.
This clearing, does it look like it was cleared by, say, a bird landing?
Yes.
Which means it's probably a bigger one.
It's a fucking nest! Let's leave!
Yeah.
All those in favour of going back the way we came, maybe we could leave a little sign at the entrance that says, giant fucking bird, go the other fucking way. Calling it a day.
Jolly just called me a coward.
Yeah, I did.
I'm heading back down the path.
Jolly good. Skairn is staying here.
That feather is 9 meters long, you insane bastard! Let's just go.
Forever.
Leave him here. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
You inconsiderate bastard! Endangering your fellow men! Insubordination! So I'll tie you to the back of my horse and drag you through the fucking city!
The point is, if I get involved or working against my country's interests, my family could be punished severely for that.
What about my family? Would not the same apply to me?
Sure, but you got to make that decision.
And then there's the elf leaned against the door with the falchion, who has actually noticed you, Rhylind. He's got like a little bit of a smile, and then you realise he's actually got spurs on the back of his boots. So he was clearly some kind of cavalryman.
So does he know me?
Rhylind Westfall?
He wants to know where you're from and who you are.
And then Castellan says in exactly the same language, yes, please. Who are you?
Trying to insinuate it was death, you idiot!
There is a particularly rowdy group of elves and humans that show up. And as you are jostled by them, one pulls a pistol and fires at Castellan.
Well, I think instinct would take over in this case, and I would try and grab the gun from him and point it at the ground. I leap from the rooftop, arms outstretched, to capture my prey. I'm not necessarily opposed to letting you go to keep on killing them. The enemy of my enemy is my friend and all that business.
Caveat emptor. 6 bells. Rhylind, you spend the next couple of hours trying to find this place, the Caveat emptor.
Fair enough.
So
I'm just like, I'm a woman. I ask for directions. Yeah. I'm not just going to wander blindly around the city until I find this joint. Don't pull that face.
No. I'm doing it too. I asked for directions. Fuck you.
No, the way Matt said it made it sound like I hadn't asked for directions. I just wandered off.
No, I'm saying you managed to find it. It takes you a while because
Okay.
you're having to navigate like a city, one that you're not familiar with, but two, doesn't have great design. It's sort of just grown randomly.
On a bunch of islands.
Yes.
Okay.
But you eventually make your way to an area that's very ritzy. It's there's all these little cafes.
Close to the water.
It's close to the water.
What?
Waterfront estate, you would almost.
Hipster.
No.
Hipsters can't afford to live on the waterfront.
There's a lot of like little shops and food eateries.
A cafe strip.
So, you eventually find this place called the Caveat emptor, which is a massive beer hall that has exterior tenting that comes out as well. It's very long and has at least 10 small bars that run the length of this hall. And you manage to go inside and find that for the most part it's empty.
What time is it?
It's between 5 and 6 bells.
Guess I'll have a drink then.
There's a large, rather rotund woman who serves you, and she draws you a draft and hands you the beer. And as you bring the thing to your lips, someone sidles up next to you, and you feel a sharp implement placed just under your armor.
I'm just going to sip my beer and say, that's not very friendly.
No, it's not. And it's the elf from the front gate.
Wait.
The one that had the falchion and was grinning at you, the one with the spurs.
That's not the one I thought, but okay.
That's the one I thought.
So can I see this knife, or is it in a position where I can't see it?
No, it's sort of very congenially placed, and
Congenial's like, it's a friendly knife. It's got a little smiley face drawn.
Hello, I have a knife.
Hey, Beth, let's go stab.
that's exactly the impression. He's got that kind of half smile that he had on his face when he saw the first time. He goes, "So what would a dragon born like you be doing in a town like this?"
Right now, I'm trying to have a drink.
There's a warrant out for you.
Is this meant to be news for me?
Oh, I didn't think you'd heard that the Crown Prince himself had decided that you needed to be arrested for what I'm not sure, but the pay is high enough that I'm willing to break ranks and see what I can get out of this.
See, that's fascinating. I didn't think he really cared about me. I'm almost touched.
So, Do we do this the easy way or the hard way?
That depends on which way you think is the easy way.
Well, the easy way is that you strip off all your weapons and armor, place them on the bar, and we take a nice, lovely moonlit stroll to the local jail. By the way, where are your friends?
I'm just going to take another mouthful of beer and say, yeah, that's a very interesting question. I was going to investigate that myself shortly.
Well, no matter. This has all worked out for me, hasn't it?
Yes, you've really had quite a successful day. Any chance I could finish my beer?
Of course, I'm not a monster.
Very kind of you, so I'll kind of just keep sipping away at my beer.
And he just holds the knife at your liver.
How big is he in comparison to me? Is he bigger than me? Is he smaller than me?
He would be a bit smaller than you. He's an elf. He's about Abella's height.
Cool. And about what time is it?
Very close to 6 bells, which was the arranged meeting time that you'd had with Marcel.
Yep. See if I can
Draw this out.
draw this out.
The woman at the bar is washing a glass and just watching you two sort of whispering to each other.
You know, this is really quite good. Would you like one while you're
I
waiting?
don't drink on duty. But mind you, I'm not really on duty here, am I?
Yes, I was just about to say, this does seem somewhat beyond your usual purview.
Well, let's be honest. I'm not going to let you get me drunk. I've been rolled one too many times, and to be frank, I'm going to have plenty of time to drink once I cash in your reward.
So how long's the warrant been out for? That I hadn't managed to find out.
Oh, only recently.
What's recently? I'm very curious, because, you know, I didn't know that
Less than a week.
Less than a week? What have I done in the last week?
He just sort of like shrugs. I don't know, and I don't really care.
Because, you know, it's been a long time since I was anywhere near Earhart, really.
This is fascinating and everything. Are you done?
I'm holding out. I was like, does it look like I'm done? Look, this is going to be the last beer I'm going to get for a while, so...
You see 3 figures wearing masks walk up behind this fella. Frankly, I don't know what you are trying to pull here, but let's go. And then one of the masked people just whops him on the back of the head.
I watch him go and then salute the guy with my glass and saying, perfect timing.
They, in response, throw a bag at you, a Hessian bag, and you look across and the barmaid has left. And they go, put that on.
My head?
Yes.
Gosh, everyone in this city is just so rude to me today. Is that really necessary?
Put it on or we got you.
Gosh, my liver just is under threat from all sides today. So I'm going to scull my beer and put the bag over my head.
Okay. You are roughly jostled from the beer hall. And from what you can tell, led down to a pier and put on a boat. And then there's a bit of transit. And then you're sort of suddenly brought to a stop. And you can start to feel hands removing your weapons, taking your armor off.
I'm going to try and grab someone's hand when they try to take, like I feel like she's the sort of, she has a lot of knives. So the 2 daggers blessed by the Fury, I would have kind of been wearing in a concealed fashion.
Sure.
Do they find them?
Tell you what, roll a sleight of hand and we'll see how you went.
19 plus 2,
Yep.
21.
There's a moment where you're like, oh shit, they've found them, but the hand just moves just slightly to the side and they don't because they're patting you.
So they've taken off my armor and they've taken all my weapons except for the knives I
Yeah,
had.
they've put every weapon you have and every piece of armor you have has been removed.
While they're doing this, they say, normally I make people buy me a drink first.
Shut up. They're spinning you around as well, very roughly, marched into another passageway, turned around, marched into another passageway. This continues for a while, and the hood comes off, and it's a small room, 10, 15 foot in diameter, and in front of you are 3 cloaked, masked elves. You're immediately assailed by, like, a moldy subterranean smell. The stone glistens with condensation.
How naked am I right now?
You have clothes on.
Oh, okay, cool.
They just removed all your arms and armor.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
They haven't literally stripped me.
No.
Haven't probed my cavities.
So, Marcel said you want to help us. Or should we trust a bitch?
Well, I don't know how much they told you, but when your 3 fellows kindly removed me from that beer hall, there was a member of the Earhart presence here trying to stab me in the liver. So we're not exactly friends.
He's been taken care of, and why do we care?
Well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And
Oh, my enemy.
or your enemy, I suppose. Let me put it another way. I'm in the city with an awful lot to do, and you folks seem to have the right idea about who should be in charge here. So you can take that or leave it.
One of them turns to the others sort of surreptitiously, and you can hear him say, I don't trust this bitch lizard.
It's usually Rhylind, not bitch, but if you insist.
Let's cut the shit. What are you offering?
Me?
I don't know. Do we need more oars in the oilhouse?
Gentlemen, I don't. I think you may be underestimating what me actually is.
A big scaly bitch?
Can everyone stop talking?
So much treason. It's hurting Charlie's soul.
Pork talking out of her ass. She's trying to find out what... I think you've been paying way too much attention to the Erhart rumour mill. I'm a very useful person.
Are you important?
The Crown Prince himself wants me dead. Yes, I'm important.
Roll a diplomacy.
16!
16? Okay, cool. They mutter amongst themselves in Bashan, and it seems like they're having an argument about something, and then they look back and you go, why?
Oh, you don't know? Well, it's not really my place to tell you then. What I'm far more interested in, gentlemen, is what kind of help you need from me. Because let's face it, you wouldn't have dragged me all the way here if you weren't the slightest bit interested.
Two of them immediately look at the third. Third looks back at them kind of nonplussed, although you can't really tell what their expression is because they're obviously wearing these masks. And they all look at you and go, is this some kind of joke? Problems like this are easily solved. Problems like this, they are found in the sewer, face down.
I commanded in the Erhart military. I can tell you exactly how they work and what the players are like. I actually know one of the chaps who's in the city right now.
That gets their attention. They start speaking in a very quick Bashan to each other. And then they look at you and go, can you get close to this man?
Let's just say I think I have an in.
And these are tactics. Tell us about them.
Look, can I give them what? A very kind of potted, abbreviated version of the kind of steps that the stages that occupied cities tend to go through with their heart military. Like, without giving away major details or...
Sure, I mean...
Like, I'm giving them a little taste.
Because they're operating under Erhart
Occupation
strictures,
right now.
so they
rules of engagement.
they have to do what the Erhart would do. So they're effectively an Erhart army.
Basically, what you pass on is information that's pretty much self-evident. They put in checkpoints. They start creating, they create martial law. No one's out at certain points.
Are the Erhart particularly militarily advanced in terms of tactics?
Somewhat, yes.
So, above and about beyond the Bajano?
So the difference between the Bashano and the Erhart is the Erhart have small, highly trained military, comparatively, and the Bashano have a large, somewhat trained military.
Right.
Everyone kind of does military service at some point if they go for citizenship, in that they do 2 years.
In the Bashano?
Yes. And they can be called to service and people are drummed up. But generally it's like, hey, here's 2 weeks in boot. Okay, you're good to go.
Anyway, so I'm not trying to give them too much, but I'm trying to imply that I could be a wealth of knowledge for them if they cared to.
Without a word, they just leave the room and you hear a few hushed voices and then you hear footsteps leave.
I get up and explore the room.
It's a small room, about 15 foot in diameter. There is a chair and there is a small table.
Can I try and pick the lock?
Unless you have lockpick tools, you're probably not going to have a heap of success. You could try break the lock.
I'm trying to see if I can jiggle the latch up with my knife.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of clever. You don't have any lockpick tools, so you can't use proficiency. We'll just call this a flat dex check.
19 plus 2.
You hear the lock click and the door is now loose in the frame.
Groovy. I open it. Slowly.
You see barrels lined up in racks. You're in some kind of wine cellar from what you can tell.
I push the door open a little further so I can see a bit more. Are there any people?
Definitely a wine cellar.
Tap a barrel, grab a glass, sit back down in the chair.
Oh, okay. So I'll come out of the room and it's literally just a wine cellar. Mm-hmm. Is there any sign of my weapons or armor or anything? Is there anything other than wine?
There is a door at the far end of the room, and what looks like a series of chests with big metal locks on them running the wall. to your left.
Can I hear anything through the door?
On the opposite side?
Yes.
You walk up to it and you can hear in the distance conversation.
I say to myself, this will be a really good time to speak Bashano. I imagine Rylind's a sort of Erhart who can do pretty much how much French I can do, so she can count to 10 and say, please, thank you, and hello.
Yeah.
And fuck.
And fuck.
I can't say fucking French, but I can say shit.
I can say shit.
Merde.
Cool. So from what I can hear, does it sound like there's people directly on the other side of the door?
No, it's the sort of echo you get down a corridor.
Okay. And okay, try this door handle.
It's open.
Okay, I open a little bit and have a look. What's in the hallway? There are doors?
It's just a bare hallway. And there's one door on your left, one door on your right.
And what's ahead of me?
Just another door. Conversation's coming from directly ahead.
Okay, so I'll try the door to my left.
I mean, Karen.
Ice breath.
No. Fuck! No. Don't forget, you don't have armor, so your AC is 10 plus dexterity,
Yeah,
so
12.
12.
I don't think she was gonna throw herself, but
But it's also all of your gear left somewhere. Like, Charlie will happily come back and
if you help
get it back,
if you
but-
get away, then you know where to go to get your shit. But this is armor you've worn you're probably attached to it.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm not planning on, making a run for it. I'm just having a bit of a squiz.
Yeah, no, cool. Yeah.
So are either of the doors where I can't hear people unlocked?
All the doors in this hallway are unlocked. You open the one on the left, you say?
Yep.
This is an armory. There are about 30 muskets, several barrels of what you assume are powder. There are about 20 short swords sitting in a rack, a whole plethora of daggers sitting on a bench. There are several masks sitting here that are in the process of being made. By the look of it, the mold themselves is done, but the filigree that you sort of see in the ornate element hasn't been painted. There is a whetstone, one of the like a manual sort of ones that you'd sit at and pump to get it to grind. And there is a set of bandoliers hanging from one wall. And when you go to inspect them, you find that they're just stuffed with musket shot.
Cool. So none of my stuff is here?
No.
No, cool. Well, I'm going to kit myself out like Keanu Reeves in the final scene in the first Matrix, where he has like literally all the weapons, like a ridiculous amount of weapons.
So you've got like 20 short swords.
Oh, like a couple of short swords, few knives, musket on each shoulder. I'm trying like ridiculous, like twice what a sensible person would arm themselves with.
More weapons than you can ever feasibly use.
Yeah, like more.
Okay, so you're over encumbered then, that's basically what you're telling me.
I'm treading the fine line between, looking badass.
Tell me what you want to grab.
A couple of short swords, as many knives as I have convenient places to tuck, and a musket. Just one gun.
All right.
Yeah.
Right,
Any armor in there?
No.
Cool. So I do all that, and then I want to go check out the other door.
There are just sacks in this room.
I open a sack.
It's full of flour.
Okay. And I just have a poke around. Is it all like food stuff?
No, it's not. There is flour. However, the next one you find, there is just nothing but like cloth. In fact, you find quite a lot of cloth. There's lots of different bolts of different kinds of material here. Some of it's quite upmarket. The rest of it's like a grade above what a pauper would wear.
Like, is it actual clothing or is it just...
Oh, no, just the material you would use to make it. You could make a nice scarf if you're so inclined to like rip a piece off one of the bolts.
I don't think that's necessary. Rylind's not big on dressing pretty.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So can I go back out into the corridor and listen against the third door? Like, can I hear any people out there?
You could roll a perception check if you'd like.
15.
No, there's no one out there.
So there's no one out there?
No.
I'm going to have a little squiz.
Yeah. So you open this door, and what you can see is what looks like some kind of training room. There are mannequins, not too dissimilar from the sort of stuff that you saw when you saw Charlie training in the town square at Areem. But they're all notched, and in certain places there are huge grooves in like the neck, the back of the leg, the side, like real vulnerable points, and the chips out of the well used. There are a series of like archery targets lining one wall that have holes in them. But these are thicker than arrowheads. You'd assume they're probably from knives. There's not much else in here. There are, however, 2 doors, one to your left, one to your right.
I go for sneaky listen at the right door.
Nothing there.
I go back to the left door and see if it's unlocked.
It is, and it leads directly to a staircase.
Did it go down or up?
It goes down.
Can I hear anything down there?
You can hear rushing water.
if you want out.
I'm not sure. I haven't really learned anything.
Yeah.
Other than that their security needs to be improved.
We'll lock the door. That'll stop her.
Yeah, lock one door.
I genuinely think you want to mindfuck.
Well, I'm going to go to the right door and see if that's unlocked.
Yeah, it is, and it leads to another long corridor. This one's far longer than the rest of them, and you can see 2 adjoining corridors that lead off it, and you can actually hear some kind of murmured conversation further down.
Is it Bashno?
Indeterminate, but your guess would be yes.
Okay. I'm going to close this door, go back to the other door, and go down the stairs a little bit. Carefully, though.
Okay. So you make your way down and you almost slip. It's quite wet. And what you realised is that you've actually come out into an open space that is flooded to about 3 foot. And from what you can tell, there is a current running through this room as it is hitting the side of this staircase that descends into this water. Tied off on a small stalagmite is a rope that also leads to a small, free-floating rowboat. That's quite easily accessible. You have to pull it in, but it wouldn't be too hard. And water is lapping off the side of that as well. There is, however, a pinprick of light coming from the opposite side of the room, and that appears to be natural light coming through here.
And would that be swimming across the current?
Yes.
So I'm going to go back up the staircase.
Mm-hmm.
Is anything happening?
Nope.
Okay, I'm going to go to the other door.
Check out the chests.
Okay, so you're in the training hall.
I'm just adjusting the
They're all
room.
locked. I'd have to break the locks off, and all I've got to do is...
You've got a knife. You've got loads of knives now.
She also has 2 massive biceps.
And gunpowder.
You do have gunpowder and a knife and a...
But if you want these people to trust you,
Well,
Maybe don't blow their chests open.
well...
but it's like, do you want them to trust you?
But like you may want them to trust you, but at the same time, you also want them to respect you because that's the thing they currently don't. And if you're going back, then you're going with the mindfuck plan, which I love. So properly mindfuck them and have the shit out of their chest. You don't have to steal it.
I want to go down this corridor a little bit and see if I can hear anything.
Okay, so you can hear what sounds like a heated conversation between 2 voices. It is all in Bashno, though.
Okay. So it just sounds like 2 people?
Which voice? Does it sound like a voice you've heard?
It doesn't sound like voices you've heard.
Okay.
It appears to be coming from the hallway closest to you.
Okay.
So I imagine you're going to turn left and go up there?
Very sneakily.
Towards the voice?
Towards the voices.
Sure. Roll me a stealth check.
And now I roll like a 1. 13.
Just. Yeah, you follow this hallway down and reach a staircase.
And the voices are coming from up the stairs?
Yes, you climb the staircase stealthily. So there's a well-oiled metal door frame that appears to have like stones attached to it on the other side of it. And you push it open and it just glides.
Like counterweights?
No, like as in attached to the door frame. And when you step through and look on the opposite side, if you push the door closed, it seamlessly lines up with the wall of this room. And this room is a little strange. There are all these wooden mannequins, and not training dolls, like actual mannequins in different poses. Some are wearing like outdated clothing, and there is a voice coming from literally the next room.
Still Bashano?
Yes, and it sounds like he's dressing someone down.
Ooh.
Like that's you know when like someone gets called to the boss's office and you hear the boss just fucking going ape shit at this person. It's that, but you have no context as to what they're actually saying.
If they were dressing them up, though, they would be a mannequin.
Is my stuff in this room?
No.
God damn it. Because that would have been the best mindfuck, is if I could find my stuff and then get dressed, go back and just be sitting there. And do I recognize the voice?
No.
No. Cool. I'm going to retreat back down to the corridor.
Okay.
Check the chests.
For God's sake, this is my side quest.
No, all right, fine. Sorry.
Freeze them! Oh, here's the mindfuck. Everything's covered in ice.
It's like I don't even know how the ice happened.
All right, so you head back down through the strange room full of mannequins and down the staircase and then find yourself back in the original training room.
I'm going to go look at these chests.
Okay. Yeah, you make your way back. They're quite large, but they're relatively simple locks, heavy duty, however. It strikes you that your axe wouldn't fit in one of these. So if your arms and armor were here, the axe is not. What do you want to do?
I'm going to see if I can use the tip of my knife to jimmy one of the locks.
Okay, roll. I'm gonna say disadvantage on dexterity check.
2, 3.
There's no purchase. You can't. The blade is too thick. The point is too small to be able to actually effectively deal with anything.
Are they wood? Like, could I hack one open?
You could actually, yeah. It's metal reinforced wood, but it's wood nonetheless. Have that strength.
Okay, I've got...
Strength. Just do a flat. I guess what you're doing, like an unarmed attack. You're gonna use the blade. What are you gonna do?
Well, yeah, I've got the pair of short swords, so I'll use one of them to have a chop at it. So
yeah,
I can
cool.
get a bit of it off.
Roll me an attack.
13 plus 4.
Yeah, that hits. That hits pretty well. Roll damage. Thank you. 1d6.
6.
Yep. Yeah, you run your blade right through the top. It's filled with blank coins.
Ooh, interesting.
One would almost call them tokens because they don't have any facing on them. But they're little metal discs about the size of a coin, different smattering, mostly copper, a few silver pieces.
Am I able to fish a few out?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll get a couple of each and tuck them into my pockets.
However many you've grabbed, there are plenty of them.
Cool. I'm going to investigate this wine. No one's come back yet.
No, they've thought, like, it occurs to you that they've maybe left you to sweat.
I'm definitely having some wine.
It's already tapped, so you just turn the tap. It's okay wine. It's Bashano wine. It's not necessarily to your flavour palette, but wine nonetheless.
I array myself as comfortably as possible, making sure all my weapons are easy to hand, should they be required.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I wait.
Another 10 minutes passes, 20 minutes, and then finally a rather tall elf in a very nice suit, wearing a mask, walks down, flanked with 3 of the previous elves, and they sort of just stop and look at you, and one of them reaches into their, coat and pulls out a dagger, and the fellow that's wearing the suit just reaches out with a hand and stays the blade and goes,
So apparently you can get through walls and doors now.
One does pick up a few tricks over the years.
Very well, let us have a private conversation then.
And then he twirls his finger and gestures for the other elves to leave the room.
You notice that what you assume is Marcel, just given by the arrangement, it seems to be slinking away, like a dog with his tail between his legs.
So, you are Rhylind Westfall.
Yes. And you are, sir?
He inspects a very well-manicured pair of fingers and then says, Oh, you can call me your uncle.
That's not creepy at all.
I don't expect outsiders to understand our ways.
He suddenly switches to very fluent High Erhard and says,
I find the Erhard tongue distasteful.
We can speak in common if you prefer.
If I wanted to speak common, I would be speaking common. This is a private conversation between you and I. Most of my people do not have the sufficient learning to understand High Erhard, let alone speak it, so this keeps prying ears and eyes out of our conversation. Why are you really here? All I could get from these idiots is that you are offering your services to us, which is strange given that you are apparently very important.
I think it would be fair to say that I think it important that the Erhard are ousted from this city at the earliest possible convenience.
That is a very strange attitude to be coming from someone from such a station as yourself. What are you, a duchess?
No.
I cannot say I disagree with that statement. I was very unhappy when these coin soldiers turned their cloak and declared for Erhard. And, unlike most criminals, I am very uninterested in profiting off of Erhard coin. I would much rather have my city back. It's a principle thing. I'm sure you understand. It's been an interesting last couple of days. And now you. What do you really want? And don't tell me it is to sell your services. I have 100 little thugs ready to line up and throw themselves at the enemy.
And will they have as much knowledge about the Ahart military as me? Will they have as much experience as me?
No, but I'm not fighting a war with grand strategy, Miss Westfall. Being a friend with many friends is more interesting to me. I am a patriot. This thing about access that was so casually said earlier. This officer that you know, how close to him can you get?
Castellan really wants to talk to me. I'm not sure I want to talk to him, but if you could make it worth my while, I could consider it.
Well, so far you're still breathing. So that is a plus. You know, we don't really make deals with people like you.
What do you mean, people like me?
Erhardt.
I haven't been a real Ahart for a while, if that makes any difference.
No, I think you're Erhardt deep to your bones. But that's not what really matters. What's the saying? Once a traitor, always a traitor?
What is considered treachery one day can be considered loyalty the next.
You talk in circles, and we differ in opinion on this. Who is the elf?
The elf? Which elf?
The one traveling with you.
Well, there's more than one.
No, there isn't.
Racist.
Who is the elf that can speak my cant so fluently?
What's your interest in her?
Well, that is my business, but she is not from my coterie. Perhaps she is running a game on you, and I am stepping on toes larger than myself.
No, you'd have to talk to her about that. But I think she'd be very interested to meet you.
Oh, I would be interested to meet her too. But let's finish this conversation first, huh? So, stop being coy. What are you after?
Oh, but it's so much fun.
Time is money, Miss Westfall, and from the looks of it, you have neither.
So how about we cut to the chase and you tell me what you want me to do, and I'll tell you whether I'm prepared to do it.
I will admit, you present an interesting opportunity to me. And I will pay you handsomely for your abilities and access. But before I tell you what it is you are doing, answer this question for me. Are you bothered by civilian deaths?
Well, something preferably avoided.
I actually agree with you, but sometimes people need to die for a cause. I have spent the last couple of days learning all I can about the new power that holds my city captive. Do you know what I have learned? I have learned that they are very good at creating a sense of safety and security, turning once loyal members of the Republic against its very ideals. They are stumbling in a stupor towards the dream of enslavement, loyalty to a crown, submission to a king. And the only thing that will wake them up is the death of a little girl.
Which little girl?
Her name is Mary Davidson.
Don't make me kill you.
And why would you want a little girl called Mary dead?
Because, Miss Westfall, the grief of her father for the loss of his daughter in a city where he has stayed his hand will only push him to commit atrocities that would otherwise have been visited upon them. And I cannot think of any better way to spur the populace to action and patriotism. So, now the choice is yours, Miss Westfall. Are you a lapdog, beholden to your king, like I suspect? Or will you surprise me and understand that the cost of a single life, a single innocent life, can and bring about change of a greater magnitude than even you can conceive. And what's more, can you take the blood money I am offering to make this thing done?
I don't kill children.
A shame.
The uncle stands up and walks behind the three men that he has at the door and then turns to you and says,
I was beginning to like you, Miss Westfall.
as the uncle turns to leave, these three elves step forward, drawing knives from pockets and from within coat sleeves. And the one in the middle says, "Well, Miss Bitch Lizard, do you want to dance?
That's a shame. I really didn't want to have to kill all your men.
Please roll initiative."
I'm gonna fuck some motherfuckers up. +2. I've got 12 on initiative.
Rhylind, you go first.
Rhylind braces her feet against the ground, takes a deep breath, and then blows out a 15-foot destructive cone of ice breath.
Okay, so there's a DC 14 save. Let me just roll a dice. 2 of them failed. Roll your damage, Rhylind.
9 ice breath damage.
All right. So the one in the middle, who's directly behind Boss Guy, and Marcel are getting fucked. And that damage is...
I miss Marcel.
No, you hit Marcel.
Hey, Marcel.
Yeah.
My glass of wine freezes and shatters as basically a cloud of mist and ice shards rolls out towards engulfing the men.
Yeah,
in a cloud of white.
Marcel is instantly frozen. This is an ice block. And he's sitting there. And you're not sure if he's conscious, but if he is, he's probably going internally. The one in the middle, same fate. The one on the side sees your attack and has a half-second dodge. Half of his face gets just flash frozen. Half his body also suffers the same fate. The uncle takes the blast in the back, but is mostly shielded by the guy who you froze, who was in front of him. His back is just coated in permafrost. And he very, very surprisedly looks over his shoulder at you and clearly makes a decision. And that decision is, I need to leave now.
Fuck yeah, Rhylind fucking Westfall.
Are you happy now? You're fucking happy now?
Yes!
I had faith you would use it when it was appropriate.
Thank you, Tristan.
I'm all the way over here.
Yeah.
And there you will stay.
He runs down the hall and is shouting in Bashano. The remaining half-flash frozen guy, apart from making a squealing noise like a stuck pig, as he sort of like, I can't feel my face, kind of thing. Yeah, well, he's just lucky he's wearing a mask, obviously. But it's not even like stuff you get in the freezer when you scrape it off. It's like water frozen to the mask.
Yeah. Mask frozen to the face.
Yeah, he tries to rip it off, thinks better of it after the first tug, curls in anger, tries to shank you. Your DC is what, DC 12? So he runs up and plunges this dagger into your stomach. Oof, okay, and you take 6 points of damage. Lizard bitch! Yeah.
Just but a flesh wound.
Yeah, your turn.
Oh, great.
Shank him.
I draw my pair of short swords and skewer the motherfucker like Deadpool.
Roll me attacks. So,
18 on the first attack and
yeah, that hits.
Yep, so that one is 20.
Excellent. Okay, both hit. Roll me damage.
14.
How do you eviscerate this man?
So both my blades go in kind of in the middle of his torso, just below the rib cage, and then I separate. So basically I cut him in half.
You imagine he would look surprised, but you just sort of see like a wide eye as he kind of makes like a and then falls over. And he leaves the dagger in you.
I leave it where it is.
Yep. Okay.
Pulling that.
Holding your blood in.
You still have all of your movement and your second attack.
Yes.
Didn't you just use your second attack?
No.
She
Oh.
double attacked.
That's two weapons.
Yeah.
So she used a bonus action to make the second attack. Okay, cool. Just as long as I know. Okay.
So you could run up the corridor and kill Uncle Dude.
Just to interject, he did use his action to dash, so he's actually moved twice his movement. You're probably not going to be able to catch up to him this round.
Well, the other two guys are incapacitated by the ice.
They're dead, I think.
They're dead, or it depends. Did you intend to incapacitate them?
I was
Kill.
trying to incapacitate them, yes.
I'm pretty
they're
certain.
incapacitated.
I'm pretty certain they're frozen solid. So,
Fantastic. I run after Uncle.
yeah, okay. He is a little ahead of you. and he continues to bolt down the hallway screaming. What you assume is like, I require assistance. Please come as quickly as you can. Post haste. And he's got a bit of a head start on you.
Okay, I see that. I see that Uncle is getting away.
He is.
So I force the pain from my dagger wound to the back of my mind. I do like this mental thing where I'm like, there is no pain. And then I run as fast as I can to catch up to Uncle and stab him in the back.
Okay, well, he's going to be 30 foot ahead of you regardless because you're going to have to, I don't know, use like... you've got action surge, right? You could use action surge to catch up to him, but he has run out of the room with the barrels into that corridor and is now in the training room that you found at the end of that.
And then I use my action surge to stab him in the back.
Is that good?
Yeah,
Does
that sounds
work?
good. Yeah. So you catch up to him.
Roll me your last attack.
18.
Please roll me some damage.
6, motherfuckers!
Plus your strength.
Plus 4, 10 damage to Uncle.
He absolutely takes that. You cut him and he makes a guttural groan as you cut through his very fine fabrics and turns and spins on his heel. And you see a flash of steel as he attempts to stab you in the gut.
Oh, not again.
What's your AC again?
Oh.
He doesn't hit. Yeah.
Can I at this point say, you could just let me go and I'll forget you tried to kill me?
He looks extremely angry.
To your right, you hear footsteps running down the hallway towards you. I believe it is your turn.
How close am I to the stairwell into the water?
It is you could disengage and probably get to the doorway within one turn if you didn't want to run. You could run.
Kind of want your shit, though.
I do want my shit, but if there's a lot of people in here, I've already taken 6 damage.
Well, he's taken more. And he's not as tough as you.
And you don't know what they're going to do after he dies as well. They
Like-
could all go
Can
nuts.
I grab him and like put my knife to his throat or something?
You want to grapple him?
But then what will you do?
Well, then you leave.
Ask for my shit and tell me where the door is.
And then what will you do?
Take him with me.
Okay, cool.
But no, like, there is a way out of this, and it doesn't need to be violent. I'm sure that.
Like, I'd prefer not to cut through.
Did you just say there's a way out of it that's not violence?
I'm not scared. I'm Josh.
I would prefer not to have to cut through this entire place to get out, because I probably will die, and Rhylind wants to live.
Well,
Let's remember this about
Kill
Rhylind.
3 of them.
Yeah, and how many are in here? 50,
I don't
60,
know.
100?
I don't know.
less than 9 hit points apiece.
Sweetie,
Rhylind,
you can wade. As soon as you find your army, you can wade through them all day.
Yeah, you can as well, with dual wield, attack 2 people.
Blah, 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 you die or terribly blah, blah.
What are you doing?
I'm grabbing Uncle and putting my knife to his throat because I want to assess the situation before I make any rash decisions and get me stabbed to death.
Yeah, roll me a grapple check, and then you'll have to do it again to restrain him. So that will use both your attacks in your action.
Ah,
Fuck off!
Fucking-
Seriously, this
What
is
did you roll
bullshit.
though?
4. So 8.
Just misses. He rolled terribly, but he sees what you're doing and manages to just, in his like shifty Bashano way, just get around.
Don't bring racism into this, Matt.
could you use a second attack to do it again?
Yes, he's going to chase him around the room. Give me a
Pretty much. I try again.
Yeah.
Because I'm a trier.
Go ahead.
Fucking what?
What'd you roll?
5. So much better.
It is.
As much as I'd love to indulge you, he rolled a 14.
Call it even and make it a 10, then it would be a 14.
Narrative.
Narrative. If I get stabbed to death in this basement, Matt, think how terrible that would be for the
Sorry, but
podcast.
no, he's clearly he's a very tricky man, and you're clearly
he's
under-
not.
No, I'm rolling ones over here.
Well, regardless, the door to the right of this training room bursts open.
6 elves run out into the room.
Oh, only 6.
Only 6. 2 of them has pistols.
Well, that's problematic.
The others have knives. One has a sword. And they're looking at you. They look at their boss. And he turns and goes,
What are you waiting for, idiots? Kill her.
Just as a point, I only want to leave with my stuff.
Okay, well,
Can you roll persuasion, please?
Yes.
Hey!
Plus
Roll the white dice. This is
plus 2. 18 persuasion. Are any of them convinced that I just want to leave?
they see the knife sticking out of your gut, the blood from the person that basically has given you a blood dress because it all founted out onto you.
Yeah.
They see that you've hurt their boss. He's looking at them, and they kind of go, "She has a point, boss." He kind of just looks at them.
He says something in rapid Bashano, and they respond, and then he says,
I should kill you for this insult, but I've better blood to spill than yours. Pray we don't meet again.
Honey, I don't plan on ever seeing you again.
If we all just walk around with our eyes closed, there will be no problems there.
It's so nice to see Rhylind cut her way out of a situation.
Yeah.
This was
And ice
therapeutic
breath.
for her.
She only gets one.
Yeah, I got to rest now.
yeah, but for a short rest.
Yeah. He steps away. One of the elves runs up to him and is basically tries to attend to his wound. He shoves him off and goes,
Get this raging bitch her armor, get her out of here.
and they comply. It's a very short drift thing. They throw the Hessian bag at you again.
Rhylind,
I just hold it up and say, "Are you fucking serious?" Just to be clear, they've given me all my armor, all my weapons, all my possessions back. They haven't touched anything.
They bring everything back. I'm just sort of like, I was just sort of...
roll for deception.
Yeah, no. I was just thinking about it because the axe was shit. Like, it had been eaten into.
It's not an amazing axe.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, they
It
might have
has
just been like,
character.
throw it into
It's like
water.
a neg one axe.
Yeah. It's not destroyed, it still cuts, it's just not as good.
Yeah. Oh, look, like you could get it fixed, but it'd be cheaper to just get a new one. But you have sentimental value, and that's character building. So do
Yeah,
that.
it's my axe.
I'm straight. And I'm not saying don't do that. I wouldn't throw
Was
away
it
one of my
Clarence's
harpoons.
axe?
No.
No, I had the hammer.
Get a hammer. Cool. So I'll put all my stuff on, and I give him the daggers and the musket back, but I keep the swords.
They don't seem to be in a mood to argue with you.
They're both still covered in blood.
Yeah, as far as they know, you're about to ice breath them again.
Yeah.
It's like, I only had one of those, Morty. This is a fucking can of Tic Tacs.
once you've got all your stuff, Uncle says,
Take your shit and get the fuck out of here.
Nice meeting you, Uncle, and I'll give him a little bow.
Yeah, he does not like that, but he doesn't make any other gestures to kill you instantly. Nice bit of diplomacy there, but yeah, you basically head down the stairs after your dashing rogue exit.
Just to be clear, this whole time I'm holding a blood-soaked short sword in each hand in case these motherfuckers try anything.
Yeah. And you go down the stairs, and there's a small rowing boat. You get into it, you row out across this small cabin, and as you come out, you're not actually sure where you are because it's night. And as you come out,
There's a hail of arrows and I die.
no, as you come out and look up into the night sky, it's unlike anything you've ever seen. There is this rolling green blue light in the sky, almost like tracing lines through it. It's an aurora. You can see under the night light. Your scales are glowing green.
I do just want to check, like, you understand the physics of an aurora?
Yes,
Cool. Okay. They can't really just happen and
they can in my world.
yeah. That's I was just like,
Blue moons and magic.
yeah, I was just like, yeah, there are physics here. Also,
Radiation in the world's magnetosphere, and
Guys,
And
you can all look
north
forward
and
to
south.
Brian Cox and Neil deGrasse Tyson making their own podcast about how our podcast is completely scientific.
Stars.
oh my god, I would be so happy.
I can
if
accept light
Brian
reflecting
Cox,
from dragon scales, but where the source of the light's just unacceptable.
I would be so very happy
in
if
short,
either Brian Cox or Neil deGrasse Tyson or Bill Nye the Science Guy goes out there and says, there be dragons is not technically scientifically accurate.
So just
And
to be
everyone goes, bitch, what?
So just to be clear, I cut my way out of a den of thieves, managed to convince them to let me go after I just killed 3 of them, including cutting one of them in half.
Well, one's dead. The other 2 are frozen. I don't know. about
yeah, well, you're not free and clear yet.
Keren, I need you to do a Constitution saving throw for me.
that. Because you have a knife in you.
I do have a knife. But really, that was the better decision of have knife in me or pull knife out of me while in combat.
Yeah.
Would you like a knife in you, or would you like blood in you?
Well, this is the trick. It's a rough call.
Can't I have both?
Well, yes.
Well, yes.
That's the decision.
Well, yes, I chose to keep my blood in me a bit longer until I could get out of the den of thieves that were all trying to stab me for no good reason.
Some of them had guns.
Well, some of them have
trying
reasons.
to stab and shoot me for no good reason. Come on, Constitution.
Natural 20?
18 plus 6.
Okay.
Fundamentally exactly the same roll, but on a D18.
Fantastic. Okay.
I think I'm okay.
Well, actually, your left side is going numb.
Jesus, what
Better
was a
than
bad
all of
result?
What was a bad result? I pass out and die on a boat in the middle of...
You know when you fall asleep on, like, your limbs?
Oh, okay.
That's what's happening currently.
Well, should I perform some basic medical attention
Sure.
to
if you'd
myself?
like to roll a medical check.
Yeah.
Just FYI, while you're here, you're being bathed in the light of this
Oh, yeah.
aurora.
It's beautiful. If I die here, I'll be pretty
Yeah.
okay with it.
Yeah.
Never mind. Sorry. Tired.
Just a medical check for me.
Probably because you're performing medicals on yourself.
2.
2?
Yeah.
It's probably something to do with the fact that you were stabbed. Like, you know, shock happens sometimes.
Well, can't feel the part of my face.
The body or face?
It's definitely body.
Okay, cool. I can't feel my left side, which is
No,
really
you
hard.
can. It's just tingly. Like,
Oh, okay.
like I said, that sort of thing
Like
where
it's not getting
pins and
enough blood?
needles. Possibly. Okay. While you're medically assessing yourself, you hear a splash in the water next to you. And then 2 more splashes on the other side of the boat.
Oh my god, it's the dolphins.
And then a bolt lands in the middle of the boat into the wood. Just
Don't let me die out here, Matt.
well,
Like I said, I'd be sanguine about it, but I'm not really. I don't want to have to make up a new character. I'm going to get shot.
You feel like a thud on your left shoulder, like someone's just tapped you really hard.
and you take 10 points of damage.
Will people stop bloody shooting at me?
Okay, so
You could possibly try and row away or something. I don't know. You'd probably.
I can't feel half my body.
well, you're lucky that you can't because there is now a bolt sticking out of your shoulder.
Is it on the left side?
Yes.
Oh, good. Is there any response to stop bloody shooting at me? Or do I get shot at again?
Well,
Is she moving away quite quickly?
you're about halfway between the bank that you left and the bank you're heading towards, which is one of the islands
You have
in
a
this
tail?
city. Feel free to do something.
Cool. I'm going to start rowing the fuck out of there.
Cool. Roll me an athletics check.
+7. Anything more than 2. 11 plus 7.
11's enough. All right. Yeah, you start making rapid movements. Like, tell me what Rhylind does as she's starting to hear more of these bolts hit the water nearby.
Well, she's rowing, and every time she strokes the oars in a non-sexual way.
Yeah, I was just like, I know exactly where Karen's mind is right now.
Stroke!
Yes,
Stroke!
Karen,
So-
actually strokes.
Every time she pulls on the oars, you know, she feels the throb where she got stabbed and she got shot. She's like, fuck.
She pulls on the oars. She feels
feels a throb. Karen, I don't think you can not speak like this.
Oh,
Fucking
you're so lucky they
bastards.
Except that one.
Trying to kill me!
Another bolt hits you for 4 damage. And it strikes you, luckily enough, in the left side.
God, I wish I could swim well.
That
right
hurt
about.
that time. Like, you could definitely feel that one. Like, the shoulder one hurt too, but that was sort of more dulled. But this is actual pain.
All right, I'm gonna say, is there any chance we could negotiate?
You hear no response.
Can I tell
You are-
where they're shooting from?
They're definitely shooting from the bank you just left.
Oh,
Yeah, they're trying to kill you so you can't actually get away.
so I can't row anymore.
No, you can. You're making good time. Like, the fact that you weren't peppered with more bolts was a testament to the fact that you managed to get
Woo!
ahead.
Am I almost out of range?
Almost, yes.
All right, I keep rowing.
Give me one more athletics check.
1 plus 7, so 8.
I think at this point, though, like, the fact that you've just taken 2 bolts to the arm haven't helped, like, your locomotion. And I think you're basically rowing more to your left than your right.
No shit.
So you're starting to list. List, is that correct? Tom?
I'm listing lazily to the left, guys.
It's more like tilting you. Drift, turn.
You're still making the distance. However, they are going to get one last crack at you. But they all suck. Except
Yeah,
this
fuck
one
this
guy. Oh, he's
That
actually
one
done quite
guy.
well.
and he hits you for 3 points of damage.
I think that one just barely misses you this time. Probably goes just past your neck. It would have probably been a kill shot if it hit you, but it definitely leaves a deep graze.
I'm pissed.
Don't go back.
I'm really angry. I kind of want to go back and kill them all, but I feel like I would die.
So you pull into this these little jetties that sort of are like probably for public use, and you manage to pull up to one. And as you, I guess, sloth yourself out of the boat,
Not very gracefully.
No, you hear running feet just up the small staircase, and 3 of the mercenary guards appear holding torches. And they see you, and they just sort of stop and stare at you.
Can any of you chaps recommend a good healer?
Hi everyone, it's me, your Dungeon Master, back for another exciting round of ad break time. In this episode, I'd like to talk to you about, well, you guessed it, Nerds of the West. You've heard me say it before, Nerds of the West are a fantastic group of board game enthusiasts that release amazing actual play and review content. They release videos on YouTube and stream regularly on Twitch, and just recently they had to play the truly ancient board game Scrabble live on stream because a viewer reached an amazing watch goal and wanted to see how wordy and nerdy these guys can be. Like a lot of their content, it's definitely worth your time, so head on over and check out their latest stuff. That's right, check it out at Nerds of the West. Now, you may have also noticed that with this episode, there's been a bit of a bump in the level of sound design that we normally do. Well, I'm very pleased to say that the reason for that is that the fine folks at Sirenscape have come to help us out. They've given us access to over 600 sound sets, and with those sound sets, you're bound to find just the right mix of atmosphere to make your home game hit that next level. We've used a number of the packs to design a scene that happens later in the podcast. I won't say anything about that yet, no spoilers, but see if you can guess which one it was. And it's been a blast to use. The user interface is very simple, and speaking of which, you can use that right now. Sirenscape is free to download as an app available on the website sirenscape.com. It comes with 20 sound sets for you to get started with and is absolutely free. No registration, no sign up, no reason not to check it out. Lastly, just a few words and housekeeping. The first 2 episodes of There Be Dragons Westfall, a dive into the 600-year history of the House of Rhylin's ancestors, is now out on the Patreon feed for $10 and up subscribers. Now, if you're interested in D&D and history and love the podcast, this might actually scratch an itch for you as we chronicle the twists and turns of the history of the House Westfall. So, if you want to support the show and want a bit of extra content, definitely check out the Patreon at patreon.com/therebedragons. Well, that's about it. This episode is long enough without me continuing to jabber on with ad break specifics, so why don't we get back to the episode? Oh, almost forgot. Thanks for listening.
Rhylind,
Yes.
these guards have very helpfully and very, very gently brought you to our cell.
Oh, come on! I wanted a healer!
I was like, bullshit, they're not going to let her go.
But also very, very astutely seeing to your wound.
So,
Zuh.
Yeah, there
How
is...
many am I up
I
to
think
now?
3.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
I got 2
Oh, yeah, there was
arrows
the
in
one
my
that-
arm. I've got a knife in my chest, and I got a cut in my neck.
Yeah.
All on the left side, though. You know.
Oh, no, there was one on the right. He did even you out for the last shot.
Oh, I wasn't there.
It was the cut in the neck thing.
Yeah. However, they have seen to you, and they have sutured you up.
Do I get any hit points back?
Not yet. However, what they have done is said to you that you were caught out after curfew. So you have been arrested. They also...
Can I interject that I wasn't really out there willingly?
They are at least sympathetic to your pleas.
It's like, come on, I've been shot twice!
Oh, no, like, they're fully... like
They're also, you were shot. That begs a lot of questions.
Yeah. They have disarmed you. However, you've been left with your armor. They've taken, like, your axe and the many swords that you had and placed them outside the cell. The cell itself is not locked. You're in what would normally have been a watch house, probably one that would have existed pre-invasion. And they're kind of treating you like they would have drunk. You know, they're just sort of like,
Put her in
okay.
the county lockup for the night. She'll
Yeah.
sleep it off, be okay in the morning.
But
A reedy-looking elf dressed in an ill-fitting watch uniform walks into your cell, Rhylind. He's carrying sheafs of paper, a quill, and a small ink pot, and he sits opposite you and sets up a makeshift workstation. When he's done, he looks at you expectantly and says,
Madame,
Yes?
your name, please?
Oh, sorry. Mithilde.
Could you please tell me the identity of your attackers?
Well, unfortunately, they were wearing masks.
Masked. Why were you on the river in a boat?
Well, I was in a pub.
Which pub?
I was in the Caveat Emptor getting some dinner. And these 3 blokes come up to me and they started acting like I'd set up a meeting with them, but to the best of my knowledge, I had not done so. And then before I knew it, there's a knife to my throat and they dragged me off and put a bag over my head. And I managed to get my hands free and they stabbed me. So I got one of their swords and stabbed them back, hence the blood. And I made a run for it and I found this boat. And so I just dived into it and got out in the river and then they started shooting at me. So I'm very confused and in quite a lot of pain. You don't have anything, you wouldn't happen to have anything, would you?
You were found near Farrier's Row. Do you know why you were out in this area? Do you know anything about the attackers that could help us bring them to justice?
I didn't get a good look at them at all. And I think there were 3 men initially, and then a 4th one joined them, so I assume he was kind of in charge of them.
I believe you may have run afoul of an organization called the Fathers.
Oh.
They are not good people.
Should I be worried?
They are one of the most ruthless organizations in the city.
Just in this city?
Oh no, they are spread well throughout the Bashino territory. They are an enigma wrapped in a mystery.
In the ham sandwich of deceit.
Exactly.
Wrapped in a cliche. Deep fried in cliche.
Any way to convince them not to kill me? I like being alive.
Well, it depends what you did.
I'm still not sure. I think I was in the wrong pub.
We went through your effects while you were being treated, and we have discovered that you only have a permit for certain weapons, so we shall be confiscating the others unless you wish to pay the fine for them.
I think what he's saying is your axe, it's fine.
But those additional weapons which you picked up to defend yourself technically aren't.
Yeah. Well, they're technically not mine, so that's
Feel free
fine.
to confiscate them.
Right.
Maybe they'll help you find their owners.
I will be posting guards in front of your cell for the night. Best of luck to you, Mathilde. I will go and report this incident.
Thank you. And thank you for taking care of my wounds. I do appreciate it. Oh, are you going to let me go?
Given the circumstances of the last couple of days, we will be running it up the chain, but I do not see any reason why you should not be allowed out.
Okay.
You are clearly the victim of a crime.
What gave it away?
Several bolts sticking from your body.
He has no sense of humor.
No. Well, as you can see from my permit, I wasn't planning to stay here very long, so...
No.
It might be wise if I move on before someone else tries to shoot me.
Well, as I said, stay here for that. There is a curfew, and we are dealing with some other security issues at the moment.
Okay.
And he leaves. And then you hear a rustle from the next cell over. And a groan.
Hello?
Hello. And the elf from before that had placed the knife against your liver peels around from another cell. He's got a huge bruise on the back of his head.
If it makes you feel better, they stabbed me.
It doesn't, actually.
Wait. The elf that...
He tried to stab me. They succeeded in stabbing me. It's been a great night.
I can't feel my mouth anymore.
I can't feel the left side of my body.
I feel like if I were to attempt to take you for the reward, one of us would end up dead very easily. And I'm not 100% certain that it would be me, but I'm not willing to take the chance that it won't be.
Fair enough. Thanks.
And given the fact that your friends are apparently not your friends anymore, and he's like little gingerly touches the huge welt on the back of his head, he goes, I think I can cut a deal with you if you're interested.
You talk. I've got nothing better to do than listen to you, mate.
Let's call it 25 ducats.
Oh, fuck off. I know they say aim high and get negotiated down, but that's a bit excessive, don't you think?
I mean, I could split the 5,000 ducat reward with, I don't know, 3 of my close friends that are just outside the room.
If you trusted them to actually share it with you. No offense, but you seem like the type of people who stab people in the back.
We're certainly opportunists, and that's why I'm seeing this as an opportunity as opposed to a confrontation. You got lucky, I'll admit. I wasn't expecting to get hit over the head by 3 masked lunatics.
I wasn't expecting to get stabbed by 3 masked lunatics. It's wonderful how these things work out, isn't it?
And it's funny you mention masked lunatics because seems like they are more interested in killing you now than helping you. So I'm starting to wonder whether or not I could make more money by letting them know where you are.
Just a tip. I wouldn't talk to them. They're very stabby. Can I be a little bit just, drunk on pain and like seriously, we're just trying to have a chat and boom, stabbed. They liked me before. Stabbed. They're not gonna like you. Just, be a little bit more reasonable and we can come to some sort of agreement, I'm sure.
Okay, what sounds reasonable to you then?
Well, all right. I'm feeling generous. Let's call it 10.
17.
17, now we're talking. How about I give you 12 ducats and I'll chuck in one of these? And I show him one of the metal tokens I nicked from the people who stabbed me.
He takes it in one hand, he looks at it, he goes, someone's flattening coins.
I'll give you a gold one.
He puts it in his mouth and he tries to bend it and goes, that's actually legitimate currency. It's just been flattened. And he hands it back.
That's weird. Why would someone do that?
I mean, at a guess, if you were trying to change money over.
Like from one currency to another?
Possibly.
I just thought they were pretty. Well, I've got 3, so I'll give you 2 and 12 ducats.
Tell you what, you give me 14 and all of the coins and we'll call it even.
You're really bad at bartering, because I'm pretty sure that's more than 17.
Well, you brought them to the table. It's up to you. Or I can, and he kind of gestures over his shoulder, go talk to my friends.
Tell you what, I will give you 12 ducats, 3 of these tokens, and 5 of these silver pieces, which are almost as good as the gold ones.
Yes, I understand how money works.
My neck feels funny.
He's starting to look a bit more worried about this whole exchange now than he was a minute ago. And he goes, all right, fine, that works.
I counted out quite slowly.
He just stares at you like, really?
I'm playing this up.
We're both in here together all night.
2. Oh, that's 12. And tokens. And I get 3 out. One of each colour. And look, I got one of each colour. Isn't that pretty?
Yes, that's fantastic. Thank you.
What's your name, mate?
Do you really want to know my name?
Oh, I was going to shake your hand and say deal well done. But, if you'd like to skip that, we can. I was going to have a kip.
Sure, if you want to have a kip, that's fine with me. But, and he produces a deck of playing cards. He goes, we're going to be here all night.
Ooh, can I win some of my money back?
You can try.
You don't happen to have anything to drink, do you?
I'm a soldier. Of course I do. And he pulls a small flask out.
Is he a red shield?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just give it to me?
Well, he takes a nip first and then he passes it over, yeah.
Yeah, I have a nip and I pass it back.
It's grain alcohol, like the basest stuff you can get.
Whew! Thanks. My insides are on fire and that's pretty hard.
Let's see how your deck playing skills are.
I'm going to crack my knuckles.
At about 8 bells in the morning, you are unceremoniously released from this watch house.
Can I feel my left-hand side?
You can. It's returning to you slowly, and there is also a dull ache. And you're in a part of the city you haven't seen before.
Is there weaponsmiths nearby?
No, there are a lot of shops selling all kinds of crap, though.
So I can't see a smith or something resembling a smith?
There are a lot of shops along here. Possibly there is one that's got like a smithy out the back, and they have like a shop front. But after wandering a little bit, you find a plaque that kind of catches your attention. It's almost at floor level, and it's above a step of stairs. It says, Madrigal's Magical Supplies.
Cool.
There's actually a bakery above it, so you could go there as well.
I have a moment of like being super torn as to whether I want to investigate
The bakery or
the magic, and I decided to go to the bakery first. 'Cause I'm fucking hungry.
Yep.
Yes.
There are
Yes, Rhylind.
There are some hot strudels. Strudels. There's some-
Strudel is one of my favorite words to pronounce with the German accent because it's very much a.
Yeah. So, Karen, there's a lot of lots of little different kinds of baked goods.
All right, I want some sort of big pastry stuffed with meat and veggies and potato. And
pasty. You want a Cornish pasty?
I want a Cornish fucking pasty, a big one.
Well, there's the ratu rat. It's
I don't want that.
It is a meat-filled pastry in the shape of a rat.
That it is. That it is.
That's amazing.
I wonder what kind of meat. I wonder.
I politely ask if it contains local rat.
It does not. The pastry chef is extremely offended that you would say that.
Oh, I wish we could afford rat.
No, and informs you that it's mostly chicken.
That sounds wonderful. And one of this apple strudel, please.
Mostly.
At the end of it, it costs you like 3 shillings.
All right. I thank the pastry chef. I shower him with compliments on the quality of his pastry.
Because it's not filled with rat.
Gives you a real kind of skewiff look because you insulted his pastry
I was trying
jelly.
to make a joke.
He's French. He doesn't get.
Yeah.
The French have no sense of humour.
Yeah.
Roll me a perception check as you walk down these stairs.
I'm going to stack it down the stairs.
No. Perception.
17.
That's enough. There is a small moss-covered plaque at the bottom of these stairs, just in front of the door.
Can I see if it comes off?
Yeah. It says, it's a very long disclaimer. It says,
Management takes no responsibility for misuse of items that eventuate in injury or death as a result of purchase. Management takes no responsibility for deaths incurred during the process of robbery. Refusal of credit may offend. No refunds.
Sounds like my kind of shop.
and you walk in and there's a jaunty little tingle, like ding ding. And it's a very nice little shop front. To your left are a series of mannequins in various different poses, and there's a nice little corded off section for them. To your right is like, you know, those changing blinds that they put up like in like Edwardian homes that fold out and like a changing screen. There are two of those set around like an area on the right hand side. And there is a very polite sign hanging from the ceiling that says, "Cursed objects, half price." There are 3 items on little plinths. One is a metal tongue under a sheet of, like a box of glass. The one in the middle is an ink pot sitting on top of a bunch of blotted papers, and it has a very polite little sign, like hanging off a bit of string, saying, "Please do not touch." And then there's a third thing, which is a plinth that has a metal box on top of it, and it has a lock on it, but the lock is opened and left through the loop. But there are chains just wrapped around it. And on top of it, it has another polite sign saying, "Priced to clear." There is also like a very nice oak finished counter with like a glass display case inside. And you hear from the back a voice sort of call out, go, "I'll be out in a minute. Just have a look and tell me if there's anything you like."
Okay. So do they have anything that looks like potions or?
No. The only thing that looks like, it looks like there might be some vials of some liquid, but they don't look like potions. They look more like alchemical stuff, like quicksilver and that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Not edible. There is a hand, like a wooden hand, with a number of rings on them in this glass case.
4 and then 1 on the palm?
No. I know what you're going for, but there is, however, a coin just stuck on the side of the wall on a piece of wood. And it has another one of these nice little signs on a piece of string hanging off it saying, "If you can remove this coin without damaging the shop, it's yours."
I'm going to gently kind of poke it.
It's like it's been nailed to the wall. It's a Karakian ducat, which is like a 10-sided squared shaped coin.
And it's just stuck to the wall.
Yep.
So I could have a yank on it and...
Yeah, you can do a strength check, absolutely.
Like
Do it. Not 20 of that shit.
15.
No, it does not move. It doesn't even like twist.
Huh.
I'm so curious about the without damaging the shop part of that sentence.
Chop the wood it's attached to off of the kind of.
Well, you say that. I feel like
Okay.
that's lacking imagination, really.
Guys, I'm about to do something clever. You'll like it.
Cool. I'm enjoying it. Go.
Okay, so cold makes things contract.
Yeah. Ooh.
So I'm going to blow a little bit of icy breath onto this coin to see if it'll shrink and pop out of the wall.
It definitely it's not like it shrinks shrivels into a pea, but it definitely gets like a little smaller, but it's still there. It doesn't even twist the surface. It's just stuck.
I'm going to have another yank on it.
Yeah, roll me a strength check.
14.
No. It's just as stuck as it was before. Roll me an Arcana check.
15 plus 2. 17.
You know from previous experience, whenever you've encountered like a magical field before, and it's something that was emanating raw magic, there's sort of like this hair on the back of your neck, stand up sort of staticky feel. This coin definitely feels like it has that. You hear a voice pipe up behind you, goes, "Oh, I see you found the coin."
Found it. Haven't removed it.
Behind you, there's a tiefling. He's wearing clothes not too dissimilar from like a greengrocer's uniform.
Wonderful.
He's got a headband with multiple different like sliding focus rings of like glass for different like magnification.
The jeweler's ring.
Jeweler's rings, yeah.
Do I want to know how it's affixed to the wall?
No, it's a spell.
Ah. Did you just stick it up there for fun? Was it hit there when you got here?
Well, I found that coin in the floating market and I purchased it for a sum of money. It took me a while to figure out what it is, but it's a nasty little item actually. Imagine you're some poor soul that has found a coin on the road, and it's a Karakian ducat. So, that's at least a year's worth of salary, right? So you run over to it and you try everything in your power to pull it off of the cobble. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to you, there are 3 or 4 wizards' apprentices just sitting there giggling at you while you try to pull this thing off. As far as I can tell, this was made to laugh at the poor.
Oh.
But if you're interested in it, sell it to you for 10 ducats. I'll even teach you how to make it stick and remove. Very useful item. Could be like a permanent paperweight, for example.
Is he joking or is he deadly
No,
serious?
he's deadly
dead serious. That would be...
Put it in somebody's shoe and then activate it.
I love it. We'll have everything about it.
I'd love to see what else you've got. I'm intrigued.
Oh, well, I have to tell you that a lot of my high-profile items were requisitioned by the management of the city. But the majority of the items that you'll find in this store are of premium quality. Takes me a while to figure out what half this stuff does, though.
Do I want to know what's in that box over there with all the chains wrapped around it?
Oh, and he looks at it and sort of just, not fear, but like healthy respect for it. Goes, "Oh, that's a hand of Gory."
Come again.
Oh, hand of Gory, my own naming for it.
Oh. Does it hurt people?
You could say that, he says with a chuckle. I think someone mistook the correct runes and accidentally animated a hand as opposed to just turning it into a very useful thieves' tool. It's very good at getting you into places and out of places undetected. It's also very good at strangling you to death. Hence the chains.
Right.
And it rattles as he gestures. It's like the
thing.
Yeah,
it's
the
thing from the
Adam's
family.
And the silver tongue, does it have some sort of interesting linguistic purpose?
Yes.
Broadly, yes.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know exactly what it does, but I know it's very useful and also potentially very dangerous. So I'd be willing to sell it to you for, oh hell, let's call it around 100 ducats.
100 ducats for a silver tongue and you're not quite sure what it does.
Yeah.
but you think it
Definitely
might be
does
useful.
something.
It is priced to clear. Half price. I'm doing you actually like, he does the math in his head, like an additional 25% off.
Unfortunately, I could pick it up and then it could, choke me to death.
No, the tongue won't choke you. The hand might.
As in, leap wildly from my mouth.
Oh, I mean, it could, I guess, choke you if it went down your esophagus, but
Yes, that was...
I don't think it's designed to do that. If you want to have a look at it, I will suggest that you don't stare at it too long. I think it makes it angry.
What was the third thing?
I love magic.
The inkwell.
There's a bottle of ink.
Oh, and the ink? I do some calligraphy, you see.
Oh. Is that an important part of your day-to-day?
Depends what sort of day I'm having.
Well, that particular item, I can tell you what it does. I call that the ink convenient ink.
Oh, yeah.
If you use it, you will have it stuck to your fingers forever.
Look at his fingers.
He does not have any marks on his hand at all. Because the ink binds itself to whatever it touches. So if it touches your skin, you will have ink permanently on your fingers.
But if I wrote, I don't know, ass on someone's forehead.
It would be stuck there. It would also smudge any time he put a hat on.
Delightful.
It's a perfect gift for your political enemies. I'll do you a deal, 150 ducats.
I'm pretty sure I don't have 100.
No,
No,
you
I
don't.
don't. I definitely don't have 150 ducats.
Go away, come back, find me.
Do you know much about magic then?
Well, I mean, I'll be completely honest with you. I did not complete my degree. I know enough about the arcane to kind of work it out.
Do you know anything about curse removal?
Yes. I know enough about curses that I could hypothetically remove them.
So a friend of mine got some magic stuff on him. Very smelly, and it's starting
It
to get
happens.
annoying. Like you block it out most of the day, and then you get a little further away, and then you come back, and it's like being hit in the face. Don't suppose you'd be in a position to help out with that sort of thing.
Depends. How much money do you have?
Me, not so much.
He's got a lot.
He's got a lot.
Well, this sounds very good, and I'd love to meet him and his money.
Just as fair warning, you might want to not breathe through your nose while it's in there.
Oh, fair enough.
You'll know if you've fixed it. We'll all know. We'll be very relieved.
And so will he.
Is there anything I can get you? Anything you're interested in? I have a pocket picnic you could purchase.
A what?
A pocket picnic. He pulls like a small square of cloth out of like the case, and it's got a little like button sewed to the top, and he goes, if you unbutton this and then throw it out like you would a,
Picnic
blanket, there will be a picnic.
every time.
I mean, there was when I did it.
Can I give it a go?
No.
Why not?
Because I might break it.
I might break a picnic blanket.
As he's trying to sell this pocket picnic to you,
yeah.
you notice that there is a mirror over his shoulder. Mm-hmm. Sort of like a vanity mirror, a small one, like one that would sit on like a dresser. Mm-hmm. And you see neither his nor your reflection in it.
Hold the picnic for a second there.
I am, but sure.
What is that? I can't see myself in it.
Oh, that's a vampire mirror.
Oh, so only vampires can see their reflections in it.
Well, I mean, hypothetically, I've never had a vampire look at it, but it certainly doesn't show anything in the city. I mean, I have some family in the north that I could potentially send this to, get it verified.
Does it show anything?
It shows the room.
Okay. So it's only living beings that doesn't show. Okay. Because I was just like, does it show nothing? Because that's
Only
basically...
shows not vampires.
Yeah, I'm just like, because that's everything currently that it can see. It's a little dot. long in the distance.
Back to this pocket picnic. If I'm not allowed to open it, are you allowed to open it? I want to assess the quality of the food.
Okay.
Because if you're going to unfold it and we're getting some dry bread and last week's cheese, less exciting than getting, a roast chicken and a blueberry pie.
Sure, I could do that. I don't want to do that in the store, though, and he looks over at the tongue and then he looks over at where the hand is and he goes, I don't want to knock those over. Tell you what, why don't you come in the back and we'll open it in the vault?
Ooh.
Can I, assess his motives?
Yeah, good,
Sure.
Good. Yes, Rhylind, yes.
Fuck. Plus inside is 0, so 8.
Going to kill you.
You can't determine anything from him.
Into the vault you go.
Just to be clear, you're not going to stab me and rob me once we're back there, right?
No.
Because I got...
No. Why would I ever do that?
It's just because I got stabbed last night and I'm feeling a little edgy.
Okay, I run a respectable business. You can see my business registration papers if you like.
No, that's fine.
I don't...
Vault sounds great.
I don't rob my... Well... I don't stab and steal from my customers.
Good to know.
Good.
And he takes you out the back, and there's it's like a dog leg.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going through like a coat rack almost. There's a small table, all these little tools, and he's making like a watch on the desk. He's doing some clockwork by the look of it. And then he pulls open 2 really heavy set coats. The sort of coats you imagine like Skairn would wear in the north, like big furry things.
So thin nothing almost.
Yeah, just like almost transparent.
Wisps.
Yeah.
Because he's
Silk
manly
Nikes.
and nothing.
Anyway, let's go to Narnia.
Yeah, he leads you down a hallway, and on the left-hand side, built into the side of this hallway, is a massive, safe door.
Wow.
Like metal?
Yeah, metal. It's like a
Black steel?
burnished orange.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. Sort of like a coppery.
But not with a green tarnish.
No.
It's new.
Looks new, yeah.
Okay.
And the thing spins. And he pushes it open. And the thing is about 4 times larger than it should be
Good.
on the inside.
I love TARDISes.
And there are just boxes of crap inside here. There are things there is like a whole bucket of rings. Some of the piles reach the roof. There are a number of shelving pieces that have been placed in here. And he lets you in, and then he closes the vault behind you, and he goes, well, here you are.
I'm going to flick open the tablecloth with
That's the
flair.
least magical of all of us. Be magical.
Roll a dex save.
9.
9. Teacups and crockery just go everywhere. And there is a god-awful smell. And Madrigal sort of just leans over his shoulder and looks at it and goes, huh. Well, it was fresh when I opened it the last time. And there are just mounds of rotten cakes and food, other kinds of food. And the china is chipped and smashed. And he goes, I kind of feel like I should charge you for the damage of the crockery.
I look at him and say, well, you can try.
It's a great response.
That's the best response.
At this point, another head pokes itself out from behind one of the shelving units. It is a disheveled-looking Madrigal, wearing almost the identical kind of clothing, except it's very much slept in and a bit filthy. Save me. This thing has kept me in here for weeks.
This is amazing.
He steps out and he goes, that thing next to you is a doppelganger. Kill it.
What do I know about doppelgangers?
Here's the thing. You can either use history to kind of recall what you learnt in class, or you can use an intelligence check to try and figure it out from what you probably know without drawing on academics.
Well, let's go with history. Fuck off. 7.
You would know that the word doppelganger means someone who looks identical to someone else. Whether or not that's a creature or not, you're not sure.
How has the neat Madrigal reacted to the ragged Madrigal's appearance?
He looks at the ragged Madrigal and goes, oh, I see what's going on here. This is a doppelganger.
Just oh, for God's sake.
It must have got out of something I bought.
Well, you both realise you've put me in a terrible pickle here because I have absolutely no way of telling which one of you is the real one, if there are in fact 2 of you. And even if there are 2 of you, you could be twins that hate each other.
That's a stretch, says the disheveled one.
Well,
This thing has kept me in here for like 2 weeks.
why?
Clearly, it needs me to assume my form and run my shop.
That lucrative, is it?
I mean, I do all right. And then the one next to goes, I took 400 ducats in the last month of trading. Thank you very much. I think I'm doing a little bit then all right.
That would seem to. Oh, I'm not here.
The disheveled one goes, okay, well, can you get to the choppy and I'll do you a discount on my goods. The non-disheveled one goes, look, this thing is clearly trying to trick you. I'm not going to lock myself away in a safe. This clearly is something that has been lurking here for a while. Possibly a magical item with sentience. I don't know. If you destroy it, I'll give you 20% off. How does that sound?
Are there any, like, wives' tales about doppelgangers? You know, like ways to force them to reveal their true form?
Roll me an intelligence check.
It's a cock.
Yeah, that's cocked as fuck.
Cock, roll it again. Roll it again. Roll it again!
Calm down.
16, 17, 18.
18?
Yes.
There's usually some key detail left out from memory, like in the old wives' tales. There's like, but I recognized him because one of his fingers was slightly too long or something stupid like that. But you don't know if you can really use that because you have no frame of reference of who was the original.
Count the freckles.
Can I get out my pipe and light up?
Yeah, sure. The disheveled one's like, why are you smoking? Can you just kill this
I
thing?
hold up I hold up a single finger, take a deep breath, and then blow out a few smoke rings. Here's the problem. I don't know either of you. I was just hoping to pick up a magical picnic blanket and maybe get my friend to stop stinking up the entire campsite every night. So, this ends 4 ways. Either I kill you, that's option 1, or I kill you, pointing to the clean magical.
I am desperate. I've been here for weeks.
Option number 3, I don't kill either of you, and I just leave, because I've had a very rough night, and frankly, I'm not entirely up for this situation.
The disheveled one goes, please don't leave me in here. The smell.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Magical option number 4, I kill both of you, take whatever's interesting, and fuck off, and hopefully get myself a cold beer and a nice-looking woman for the rest of the day.
Both of them look at you and go, they say this at the same time. If you try to attack me, I will defend myself.
Oh, I wouldn't expect anything less. I'm just pretty sure I could take you.
And this is all again in exact, like, the same moment. Go, and even though I didn't finish my degree, I do know a few tricks. So maybe we don't kill me. They shoot daggers at each other. Kill that one.
Oh my goodness. This is... Okay. So would a copy of someone be able to perform magic? That was to you. That was meta.
Potentially.
Rhylind, no.
No, but it's a good instinct.
Okay. Here's a thought. You said you could do magic?
Yes. Which one are you talking to?
Both of you.
Yeah. They both say yes.
Yes. All right. What sort of spells do you know?
I can cast Fireball. I also know how to cast that. We wouldn't want to do that in here.
No. Do you have anything like smaller?
And they sort of stop and think for a moment. They go, we could try prestidigitation.
Okay. I'm up for this. I'm going to rummage in my pocket and pull out Marduk's red scale that I have.
Oh, nice. Yes.
They look at it and they go, how much do you want for that? And then they shoot daggers at each other.
Let's sort this out. I've got a theory I'm working on here. And then we'll talk about it. I was quite proud of how I got this. Okay, so I place Marduk's red scale on if there's a clear patch of floor.
There is. Yeah.
Okay, I kick some teacups aside and put it down.
Oh, is it on the blanket?
No, it's not on the blanket.
Okay.
Well, you said they went everywhere.
Yeah, they did go everywhere, but that's...
I make sure there's a nice clear patch of floor and I put the scale on the floor. I said, all right. Now, if I understand prestidigitation correctly.
Do you? Have you trained?
No.
But they don't know that.
No, but they're asking.
Are they actually asking?
Yeah.
Shush, both of you. There's a lot of voices in my head right now.
A little rude, they say at the same time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not the one trapped in a vault being asked to kill people.
Fair.
Now,
They say at the same time.
Fair.
Stop it.
Now,
This is really weird, okay? Now,
You think it's weird for you? What about me? I have to deal with him.
Stop it.
all right. One at a time, you'll press to digitate the red scale to make it glow.
Oh, that's easy.
Okay, you dirty man, first.
My name's Madrigal.
Yeah, so's his.
That's the doppelganger. Oh, whatever. He walks over to it and he puts his hand out, and then the scale starts to glow.
Wonderful. Well done. You, clean Madrigal.
Yes.
Do the same thing.
And he walks over to the scale, extends a hand, and it glows.
Ah, well, that one didn't work, did it?
No, but look, I'm willing to go down to 30% if you kill him. I don't like the idea of a doppelganger in my stocks.
No.
30 sound fair?
It's convenient.
The other guy goes, 40%.
You know, actually, I've got a better idea.
You could get everything for free. Come on.
Because if I kill you, I can take whatever I want, and there's no reason that you could stop me. And the thing is, even both of you attacking me at once could never take me down. So really, and I'm going to pull my axe out at this point.
Yeah,
And-
they step away from you.
I'm like, so I think the really best solution
I
is...
think everyone needs to calm down. And I think
only
you need to
thing-
stop copying me.
I think the only thing that could possibly stop me right now is me! And I swing at the nearest magical.
Which one? The clean one or the dirty one? Which one are you swinging at?
Be specific.
I'm going to have a swing at the clean magical, but to be absolutely clear, I'm aiming to miss him just.
Okay.
I'm not
So
actually...
you're not actually trying to hit him. What are you trying to do?
I'm
Intimidate
trying
him?
to freak him the fuck out.
Okay. I'm going to say roll an intimidation check.
Okay.
With advantage.
But that's really cool and well done.
16 plus intimidation plus 5. 21 for intimidation.
Okay, so the clean one jumps back and goes, "Are you crazy?"
All right, number 2. And I swing at
The dirty one is just like backing away, hands raised, like, look, just leave me in here. It's fine. I'm happy to stay here now. I get fed every couple of days. It's fine.
I'm going to let some like steam come out of my nostrils. Sorry, mist come out of my nose as I do it. All right, number 2.
Batter.
Fuck.
Better, fuck! Better.
6 plus 5, so only an 11 on intimidation for that one.
That's still enough. This thing makes a shriek and steps away and then just turns into a liquid monstrosity.
Ah! Holy fuckballs! And I thought I was ugly.
And you're going to have to roll me an initiative.
Yay!
I've got 17 for initiative.
You missed
The
it.
real magical better help me out with this.
You got a 2.
Yeah.
Nice.
Man, Rhylin's having a fucking adventure.
Yeah, she is.
I am going to hit it with my breath weapon.
Very nice.
Yeah.
What do I have to do?
You have to be DC 14?
It crit failed, so that's fine.
Takes 2d6 damage.
Yep. Please roll me damage.
That worked a lot better than I thought it would. 7, 8.
8 damage. Cool. Yeah, so this breath weapon, like, tell me what you do, because this thing is like just this hideous, worming thing of pseudopods and eyes and fleshy-coloured teeth.
All right, as aforementioned, I say, holy fuckballs, and I thought I was ugly. And then I take a deep breath, brace my feet, like claws curling onto the cobblestones or whatever it is I'm standing on, and blow out basically a huge cloud of mist with little shards of ice in it.
Yeah, part of this thing freezes, like snap freezes instantly, and it squeals horrifically, and then pulls itself away from the stuff that's frozen and just sort of like reforms itself. Now it has like a...
Is part of it missing?
Yeah. This thing seems to be like amorphous. What else do you want to do?
Well, I'm going to quickly shout over my shoulder to presumably real Madrigal.
Yeah, you'd hope so.
I'm like, did you want me to kill it?
Yes, please kill this for 30% off.
40!
It's going to kill both of us, and I'm not going below 30.
I like Madrigal.
You know what? Fair enough.
Madrigal's turn. Madrigal looks at you and then just bolts right behind one of these shelving units and just disappears from sight.
Thanks a lot.
You can handle it.
I'm expecting at least 35 now.
30.
I'd literally rather die than.
Fucking walk out.
I think
The
this guy would
vault's
literally
closed
rather
behind me.
die than offer you less more than 30%.
This thing makes like a hawking noise. Like a.
Oh God, is it going to spit at me?
Yep, it is going to spit at you. You can see like this some kind of very sticky looking substance sort of just rise from one of its many mouths, and then it goes at you. Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, that's so gross. Fuck off. I'm rolling all the shitty dice today. 7.
7? That does not succeed.
No, it does not.
This thing hits you in the face,
Aw, come on.
and
Can at least hit me in the arm, the bad one.
you are blinded until the end of this thing's next turn.
Oh shit.
So, just to let you know what blinded does, can't see, automatically fails any ability checks that require sight. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. So you have disadvantage on your attacks for next turn.
I'm temporarily blind.
Yeah, so this thing just hits you in the face, and it's like being hit with a flashbang.
I'm like, oh my goodness, that's so gross.
Yeah, there is detritus on you. And then you feel like a movement in the air, and you instinctively move just a little bit to your left, and you feel like a thin but heavy, like fleshy appendage just land on the ground next to you. And it is now your turn.
Wonderful. I'm just going to blindly swing with my axe.
Oh, actually, before you do, you need to succeed on a DC 10 strength saving throw or have no movement until the start of your next turn.
9 plus 7.
You're fine, you've got movement.
So even though you can't see this thing, you can start to feel its fleshy pseudopods beginning to coil around your feet and your legs as this slick, slimy tendrils start to slither around your feet. Go ahead and roll me your attack.
Oh. One of my dice was a natty 20. Minus 1.
Minus 1?
10.
10? That hits.
Yay!
Roll damage.
One was a nat 20.
I know.
rough.
Unfortunate.
4 plus 4, 8.
8? Mm-hmm. 8 damage, fantastic.
Minus 1. Plus your
No.
strength.
That is plus my strength.
Minus 1.
No, it's minus 1 on the attack roll, not the damage.
It's also minus 1
It's-
on
yeah,
strength damage.
Fine, 7.
7?
Sorry, but it is.
All right, you can't really see because you still don't have your eyesight back, but you're pretty certain you felt the satisfying squish of part of this thing being taken away by your axe. You have another attack? Go ahead and roll.
Kill the bitch.
15 plus 7 minus
shit.
1.
Nice. You hit. Roll damage.
5 plus 4, so 8.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
Again, you feel that nice feeling of something being removed with your axe as you swing wildly at this thing. It squeals, it groans, it makes this continuous disgusting liquid sounds, and it's now Madrigal's turn.
You hear the sound of the shelving unit rocking backwards and forwards. However, you hear that same hawking sound. Roll me a dexterity save.
Oh, please. 14.
14. That succeeds. You definitely move out the way as you hear this thing just go past and hit the ground, and it's like listening to egg smash on the ground when you throw it.
Ugh.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw, please.
10.
10? Oh, you're lucky. You hear this thing making kind of like noises, and it's distracting you slightly from what you're doing, and then you sort of shake your head and disregard it. It then attempts to bite you. Does 16 beat your armor class?
Well, yeah, that's with my shield, and I'm wielding my axe with both hands.
All right, this thing's like one of its mouths from the center of it. Like it's almost like the thing. Like this mouth just comes out of one of its mouths and just latches onto your midriff. And you feel the teeth sort of like grinding against the armor. You feel it compressing the chain against your body. It's not puncturing it though. Oof, that's not good. You take 18 points of damage as this thing tries to crush you.
I'm having a really rough couple of days here.
Yeah, it's not fun.
That's what happens when you split the party.
I was gonna say this.
I didn't want to get arrested, and I got arrested anyway.
But you're having lots
let
of
go.
fun adventures. That's good.
This Rhylin's cool and being bold badass.
She's going to have so many stories.
and so many scars and maybe dying.
Please make a DC 10 strength saving throw.
You'll be fine.
Hey!
+7, so 18.
18? That's good. This thing, you feel like the weight of this mouth is trying to pull you down, knock you prone, but you basically just like kick one of your heels back and just like, not today, motherfucker. Your turn.
So I have my sight back now, don't I?
Yeah,
Cool.
you have your sight back.
Is it looking like damaged?
Oh yes, absolutely. It's leaking like a pus. The yellowy pus from where you cut it in half.
All right, I'm severely grossed out. So I'm going to hit it with my battle axe and 17 plus 7 minus
Nice.
1.
That absolutely hits.
Wonderful.
Roll me damage.
8
Plus
4, so 11.
11? 11 damage?
Yes.
Very nice. It does not look good at all.
Well, I'll have another swing at it.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm
Please do.
I'm a mean, horrible person.
you are. You are that.
12 plus 7.
Yeah, that
minus
hits.
1. Yep.
16.
Not good AC
No,
at
it
all.
does not. No armor. And it's sort of stuck to the
4 plus 3, so 7 damage.
7 damage?
Yep.
All right.
She's not being girly about this, but you know how when you're kind of a bit icked out by something, so you just kind of like
But you've
trying
got a
to bat
long handle weapon. You know.
kind of like trying to bat a spider away with a newspaper. But except she's doing it with a battle axe. So it's kind of like, huh, huh.
Gross.
No! Huntsman! No! Fuck off! Bastard! No!
Oh my god, so gross! But less girly than that. Like,
Yes, less girly than Josh.
like
Yeah.
kind of like the really soldiery, aggressive way to do that.
Yeah. This thing just turns into like a soup.
When, are we talking Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
No.
No.
No, I know what you're talking about. No, this thing has like pieces in it. It's like the remnants of a skeleton that's kind of going gooey, except the parts that are going gooey are like eyeballs and teeth. And the eyeballs pop, and then I need you to roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, they've gone so far. So far.
17.
That's enough. You hear the shelving start to tip, and you deftly roll out of the way as Madrigal pushes the thing over. He looks at you and he goes, "Did you get it? Did I get it?
I got it.
Fantastic.
Oh, you could have pushed that over about 20 seconds ago, then I wouldn't have gotten bit.
I'm sorry, I could potentially heal you. I might have something here.
Healing would be wonderful.
I do not take responsibility for the use of this item." And he looks over his shoulder.
You are just a well of confidence in your product.
Look, I sell stuff that other people get rid of. I made my peace with that a long time ago. And then he goes over and rummages.
soulmate.
He rummages around in a barrel and pulls out like a red vial. He goes, "This is either a healing potion or like low intensity acid." He pops the cork. Healing potion.
You sure about that one?
Yeah, I'm sure. Please. And he hands it to you.
He really
It's not-
doesn't want to
As
give
in
you
for
30%
you to
off.
smell.
Yeah.
Can I-
No, to drink.
Can I sniff it?
Yeah.
What does it smell like?
It smells like not acid.
Like acid would smell like acid.
Can I like dab a little on my finger?
Yeah, it doesn't burn. It's just liquid.
You know what? I'm just gonna drink it.
Yep.
Found it.
I do it like a shot at the bar.
3d6 health points back.
+1 potion of hydration.
Yeah, it is actually pretty watery. You're pretty certain this is like, not that you've necessarily,
Someone's first attempt.
it's either someone's first attempt or someone who's like, I've made a pot of potion. I wonder how thin I can make this until it's not.
Actually,
effective.
potion.
Yeah.
It's homeopathic.
Oh, 7. 115.
Well,
What the actual fuck? How many ones is that now?
that's about what you would expect from a potion like this, though. That's
Well, you see, you say that actually the average of
two of those were
two
ones.
D6 is
Well.
a 7.
Madrigal looks at you and goes,
I mean, I could get you another one, but. And he looks
No.
over at the potions and he goes, I'd have to charge you for that.
I bet you would.
30% off, though. Favored customer. I'm thinking of doing a loyalty program. He looks at you after you've had the potion. He goes, well, that didn't do much, did it?
No, it did not.
Well, I don't think any of these other potions are healing potions. One of them might give you an extra hand, but
Do it.
Do it.
but I'm not sure the person who brewed it understood how a regeneration spell works.
Well, let's not risk it.
That's the reason I have this vault. Could I perhaps interest you in a cup of tea?
You know what? That would be great.
All right, he leans down, picks up one of the mildewy cups and holds it up. And he goes, I'm just joking, and drops it.
Thank God I was considering punching you.
Follow me. And he steps outside of the vault.
Cool. I'll go out.
Yeah. He then closes it, shuffles between you and the vault, and you hear a click.
And then he starts spinning the tumbler backwards and forwards until it clearly aligns with a combination.
You hear another big clunk coming from the vault door, and then he opens the door. And inside is this exact same sort of depth of space as the vault you just left. But now it's a cozy little, it's almost like a house. Wooden floorboards. There's a couple of windows with like birdsong coming through them. There's a soft breeze. There's like almost lacy curtains blowing ambient light coming through. And as you step in, it's sort of like half house, half workshop. He has on the left side, there is just this workbench with all these like little gears and magnifying lenses mounted on an apparatus that connects to a vise that's holding like this small circular device in it. Further along the wall, there is a bookshelf with a whole pile of ratty-looking and waterlogged looking tomes. Then there's like a little like hammock set up with a different change of clothes draped over it and a few books. Then there's like a little kitchenette. And then to your rightmost side, you can see, it looks like, it's like a pedestal with a box on it that's got like wrought iron bars around it in a sort of a crosshatch fashion. And then it has a little circular plate that sits on there, big enough for a hand to get through. And then inside there is a glass dome with a small flick of what looks like a shard of metal in between two pincers just holding it in place. He goes, just give me a moment to set the fire. He walks over to the kitchenette and clicks his fingers, and a small fireball shoots from his finger, hits a small, it's got almost like a trough full of coals, and it immediately just ignites. And he sets about boiling some water to make some tea.
That's a nifty trick. How does this whole room business work?
Do you have any magical training?
No. Well, I have some academic learnings, but no practical experience, really.
So what specifically would you like to know?
Well, do both of these rooms technically exist and the door is just a portal? Or is kind of it one space that you were able to change the interior of by adjusting the door, I suppose? So are there two rooms or is there one room that can change its appearance?
He sort of his eyes go up to the left, and he sort of sits there and tuts for a moment and then goes, yes. I'll try and come up with a metaphor that works, that will allow you to understand. Let me think for a second. And he sort of ponders and then goes, how many corners does a circle have?
None.
No. Okay.
The infinite amount.
If you stepped into a circle and you followed the edge of it and you returned to where you started, is that the same place? Or have you started on a linear curve that will continue forever? Which, I'm actually...
Both?
Yeah. I'm not explaining this very well. The way this functions is you can't create space, but you can reorganize space in such a way that there are multiple versions of the same space. But that doesn't even really explain it properly.
So there were both two rooms, one room.
And no rooms. Correct. You're good at this.
Thank you. Well, while we're busy explaining things, what on earth is that weird doohickey? And I point at the kind of metal cagey thing with the thingy inside it.
I guess that's a housing containment for the small amount of skein steel I own.
Come again?
Skairn steel.
What's that? Or would I know what that is?
Roll me a history check.
Nope.
6. I feel like I don't know what it is.
You've definitely heard the word before somewhere, but you do not recall at all what it might be.
I feel like I've heard that before.
So, you're not versed in magical theory, so to explain that would take a week.
Let's just stick
It's
to what
magic metal.
Oh, okay.
Is that easy enough to understand?
What might one use it for? Or would it have multiple applications across a range of purposes?
Well, Faltham's third law is you cannot exponentially create energy from energy. But that is countermanded in Skairn steel with Faltham's fifth law, which says sod the third law. And he grins.
I like this Faltham man. I'll do some reading up on him when I've got some spare time.
So Skairn steel allows you to, he sort of searches on his person and he picks up a small shilling out of his pocket. He goes, if I were to put the magical equivalent of one of these into that steel and it was correctly artificed, the resulting release of energy from that steel would be 3 of these.
Ooh.
So as you can probably imagine, that is incredibly useful.
Yes.
And it only occurs in this metal.
Fascinating.
It's unobtainium.
So that piece there is worth... Ooh, and he thinks for a moment. He goes, current exchange rates...
Somewhere in the vicinity of 7,000 ducats to the right collector.
Wow. Guess that's
Stabs him, takes it.
not that mean. Also, I'm pretty
But
sure
it's
he'd be prepared for that.
it's pretty much useless to anyone who doesn't understand how to use it, though.
Just out of curiosity, what would happen if I touched it?
You would be incinerated.
Good to know. You mentioned tea.
I did. And he turns and he starts making a cup of tea. He brings you a cracked mug, and he has one himself, and then goes, well, chin chin.
Chin chin. I wait for him to drink first.
Yeah,
like,
drink.
not obviously, but yeah.
He drinks and he goes, there, put a bit of colour in your scales.
They actually usually look like this. That's exactly me at the doctor's. Like, you look a bit pale. I'm like, nope. Totally normal. This white all the time. It's if my mum says I look pale, then I have to freak out because then
She's got the baseline.
I'm basically translucent if my mum says I'm pale. Anyway, off topic. So I will have a tentative sip of my tea, but not trying to look like I'm suspicious.
That's fine.
It's been a rough few weeks, guys.
Yeah. He sits on his hammock and sort of just swings back and forth a little bit. He goes, so I notice you're a dragonborn.
Really? Oh my goodness, that explains so much.
Sarcasm doesn't become you, my dear.
I'm a little punch drunk. Sorry, yes. Did you have questions about that? You were kind enough to explain the metal thingy.
Are you intrinsically magical?
Yes, no, I suppose is the answer to that question. I have a certain ability that I think would be classified as magical, but I cannot perform magic, nor do I have any particular affinity or sense for it.
There's a bit of a disagreement in the academic circles, well, the different colleges, over whether or not magic is found in the blood or if it can be drawn upon. Because there are some practitioners that have bloodlines. I guess a layman would call them sorcerers. And there are those that can learn how to command magic, which would be effectively what I've done. Although I suspect I have a slight magical predisposition, given my... And he looks at himself and goes, interesting origins. So I guess I just wanted to know, because you're such a rare breed, whether or not you thought that your magical ability was inherited, or if it was something you'd learnt how to do. Because I have heard of breath weapons before. There's not so few of you that you're not documented in at least one of the libraries I've been to.
Well, I don't remember learning to do it. I've always been able to do it, if that answers your question.
Well, yes, that does, actually.
Oh, well, I don't remember a time when I couldn't do it. Or was not aware that it was an option.
Right.
Just as normal as having claws or teeth or feet.
He sort of like drums his fingers on the cup and goes, "Can I buy some of your blood?"
I don't see why not. I've never noticed it to have any particularly interesting properties.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Just give me one moment. He starts fishing.
Actually, I'm prepared to give it to you, but I have a condition.
I'll hear it.
If you find anything of interest, could you possibly send that information to a friend of mine? I'm traveling around a lot, so I'm hard to track down, but if you do discover any interesting properties, I'd love to know.
Sure. That's not an issue at all. Who would be the person I'd contact?
Can I give him a name of, like, a member, like maybe like a trusted servant or something from my family?
Yeah, sure.
I could contact.
I might be able to convey that information to him magically, but I can't actually go there.
Oh, I wouldn't expect you to go there.
Oh, good. And he seems to relax just immensely.
In case you hadn't noticed, it's a bit crazy out there.
I had a wizard come to my shop yesterday and take all of my rings and wands and a few other items that I had on sale. So...
Like, when you say take, one assumes he did not pay for them?
No, I got some bullshit about a repossession act.
Oh. Ugh.
That's fine. He didn't know I had a vault, so joke's on him. I've probably got more valuable stuff that I haven't gone through than things that I actually actively sell.
Lucky you. Does someone know something I don't?
Yeah, I was the one who burned all of his rings off. It's only the battle wizard.
The cockhead that had all the rings, and when he walked close to him, they all exploded
His
on
magic
his
sensor went, and all of his rings exploded, and we hurt him quite badly.
Would I know that was the same guy? Like, when he says that, do I tweak?
Yeah, I'd be willing to say that you figured that out.
Right. Annoying.
Yes, but, realistically, that amounted to maybe 400 ducats worth of inventory.
Speaking of ducats,
yes.
What do you think a vial of my blood is worth?
He looks at you, sizes you up, and goes, "Well, if it's just a vial, I'd be..."
How much did you want? Like,
I was hoping for a beaker, but I'm happy to settle for a vial.
how much is a beaker? Like,
he actually pulls out, like, one of those, like, science beakers? Yeah.
that's about an average blood donation, actually.
Yeah.
And she's pretty big.
I would be willing to part with a ducat for the blood. Say what? And then he pulls up a very pointed dagger. We don't have to do it now. If you're in town for the next couple of days, you could drop by whenever. But
let's just say I won't be hanging around too long. But frankly,
okay.
I think I'm worth a little bit more than that. When the next Dragonborn going to turn up on your doorstep?
All right, I'll do 3.
3? 3, and I'd like you to have a look at a magical artifact in my possession and tell me what you know about it.
Tell you what, I will check the artifact for you. We'll do that as a clean trade for the blood. How does that sound?
All right.
Do you want me to check the artifact now, or because it will take a couple of hours for me to do that? I'll have to use my identification room.
Tell you what, take the blood. I need to go get my friend who's been cursed and bring him back here. He's very hairy and very smelly. Like, he got some magic on him, and I just said like again, I'm not from the valley.
I'm sorry, what did he get on him?
Well, it was some sort of
magical
liquid that we'd found, and we were, as far as we could tell, it was just magic.
He's giving you like a cockeye look, like, what?
And like every morning he's covered in hair and smells like he crawled out of a sewer.
Well, yeah, that sounds like a curse. Those are dime a dozen at the college, but liquid magic.
Look, like I said, I don't have any particular affinity for it.
Right. Okay.
That's as much as I know about it.
I would be very interested to meet your friend. Do you have any more of that liquid magic that you mentioned?
Yeah, he would. He'd be very interested in meeting that liquid magic /
I'm afraid I don't know. I don't.
Right. Okay.
It's like, I'm afraid I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't have any other uses for it unless
So-
Charlie wants to cross-class to sorcerer.
Then your boats stink. Don't do it.
Hairy tongue.
I'm not inherently magic.
Do a shot, see what happens. Yellow.
Really hairy.
Oh my god, it's hairy and smellier.
Oh shit, it's like the 60s in here.
You can actually listen. You can hear pounding disco.
How close would you need to get, or does it just follow him around? And people are like,
It's like the closer you get to Charlie's penis, like, you can tell by the way I
Good God.
The more erect it gets, the higher pitched the singing gets.
So
Anyway.
Madrigal turns to you and goes, so what was the artifact you wanted me to identify for?
Right. I reach into my pack and, careful not to reveal the fact I have 4 of them, I pull out one of the books from the Sorcerer's Tower way back in like episode 1.
Yep. He extends his hands, which are slightly claw-like. Like his nails are just a bit darker than regular human fingernails and kind of more like pointed. And he takes it and he goes, well, this is interesting. This is all you want me to identify?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, this technically doesn't exist.
What?
I can tell you right away this is illusionary magic. What it exactly is, I couldn't tell you. How it's physically capable of sustaining itself, I couldn't tell you, but I can find out.
That's very interesting indeed, because I could have sworn it did exist.
certainly existed when we tore one up.
Like, there was another one, and we ripped that bad boy up, and it was very much physically present for that.
Okay.
Oh, and it screamed. It was really weird.
He looks at you and goes...
Just to be clear, Rhyland's not an idiot. She's being deliberately blasé to see his reaction.
He looks at you, closes the book, hands the book back, and goes, you know what, on second thoughts, I think maybe this is a bad business deal. Maybe we should just go back out to the front. And then he opens the vault door and sort of gestures for you to leave.
Wow.
Has his attitude changed?
Yeah, he seems... Actually, roll me an insight.
It's your cray.
Fuck, I rolled a 5.
It's okay, it's not a hard check.
Plus your insight.
I have no plus on insight.
Okay, but that's fine.
I have no wisdom.
5 will do it, though. This guy has suddenly gone from kind of unflappable to sort of nervous.
He is flapped.
Yeah, he's absolutely flapped.
Am I to assume that this book bothers you in some way?
Well, you said that the artifact screamed when you ripped one in half.
Well, we tore the cover off to make mud shoes.
Oh,
Oh, we did.
okay.
We're in a bog. It was all we had.
Illusionary magic can't scream. And it can't sustain itself without concentration. Which implies to me that these books are being actively kept magically corporeal. Which means you're being watched by someone. I would rather not deal with that. So if you could please just leave my establishment, that would be fantastic.
Why would someone...
You know what? These are fantastic questions. Let's answer them as we leave.
So am I potentially... So I'll get up. So I'm potentially carrying around, essentially someone can just, listen to whatever I'm doing or saying or...
I would be extremely surprised if they weren't.
Aha. And how would one go around destroying an artifact of this nature?
My thoughts would be to destroy them the same way that you did the other ones, but I can't necessarily state... And as he starts saying this, the book in your hand starts to shake a little bit and heat up and then bursts into flames and incinerates itself.
What about the other 3?
You had them in your pack, right?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Quick, Rhylind, quick!
Okay, the second I see it burst into flames, I'm like, fuck, and trying to get the other ones out of my pack.
Yeah, roll me 3 dex saves.
Sorry, but not
2, what's
Wow.
my dex? Plus dex. So 4, 13, and 17.
Pass me a character sheet for a moment.
One of them has the cover torn off already.
Yep, that's fine.
Oh my god, I love that came back.
Matt's just like, I have an opportunity. Fuck you guys.
Like when we started wearing them as shoes,
Okay.
he was like, but I... Oh, okay.
So, you still have gunpowder. I'm going to roll a d20 because you failed one of your checks. You will tell me whether or not it is a high number or a low number.
Don't
If
do
you
that to
guess
me,
the high
man.
number, you're fine. If you, I say guess the, if you guess the
guess that it
right
is a
number,
high-
if you
right number.
guess the right number, whether it's high or low, so 1 to 10 or 11 to 20 is your choice. If you guess the correct number, it won't ignite. If you do not guess the correct number, it will. I'm going to roll this dice now.
I go low.
Low? Correct.
Oh, thank God.
I rolled a 1, so you're very lucky.
Nice.
Yeah, this thing you see this like the smallest chance that this thing could ignite, and you manage to throw them on the ground, and they just burn. But they burn a blue light that eventually just evaporates, and there's nothing left. Madrigal looks at it and goes, "All right, I guess you're not being monitored anymore. But please, let's go to the front of the establishment."
I still feel like I owe you a bit of blood for that.
You know what? I think the less I have to do with you, probably the better.
Shame. Looking forward to learning about my magical properties.
Oh, so was I, but I'm guessing that was at least an archmage that you're dealing with.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, I can barely keep an illusion substantiated beyond 30 feet.
Right.
So,
Do I need to, like, clean all my stuff or something?
I would probably...
Leave town.
I don't
I
think...
was planning on doing that anyway.
I think that the damage is done, and I think the fact that whoever was instantiating these items probably got what they wanted from it, or they wouldn't have ignited the books when they did. I guess they were just learning about you.
I have a really icky feeling right now. I've done some things in those books' presence.
I'm so glad you used the word presence at the end of that sentence.
You're ushered out into the front area of the shop. Just still quite homey, but you get the distinct impression that Madrigal would like you to either buy something and then leave, or just leave. But yeah, he steps behind the counter and then sort of like puts both his hands on it and goes, "So was there anything else you were interested in buying?" And he gestures over to the cursed items and goes, "Have some discounts." And you can claim your 30% discount on one of these items.
Incorrigible.
You're a born salesman, Magical.
He smiles, toothy grin. And then he starts ducking behind the counter. He just sort of like lowers himself down.
I'm going to look over my shoulder.
3 elves are standing in the doorway, and they are all wearing masks.
Oh, good.
And then Madrigal comes back up, and he's holding a blunderbuss.
I
And he
step
le-
out of the way of the blunderbuss.
He levels them at and goes, "So, I've paid my protection money. I assume you're here for her then." And the middle elf goes, "I'm only here to deliver a gift." And then he walks over to you.
And stabs me.
No, he holds out an Erhart rose.
Do I sense anything weird about this rose, or is it literally just a rose?
It's just a rose. Take it.
I'm not used to strangers giving me flowers. Oh, is this like a culty sort of thing where you give me the rose and I'm marked to be murdered?
He sort of looks over his shoulder and mutters something in Bashano, and then one of them like shrugs and looks back. Madrigal's sort of just keeping the blunderbuss leveled at everyone. "Fine, take it or don't, I do not care." And he drops it and he goes, "Be seeing you, dragon." And then
You didn't really answer my question.
his flunkies keep up with him and they leave.
This is the worst mafia ever. It was like, "You're getting a rose." What does that mean?
I'm going to turn to Magical and go, did I just get threatened?
"I think you've been marked for death."
See, that's what I thought, but it'd be a lot easier if they told you that.
I don't like elves very much, to be honest with you.
Frankly, I'm getting less fond of them by the day. And
No, you're included in that.
When you leave, though, please take that with you. I don't want that in my establishment.
I pick up the rose.
Yeah, it's just a rose.
Any thorns?
No, they've been trimmed.
Oh, well,
But
Tuck
it
it into my-
smells of home.
I'll tuck it in my collar.
Okay.
Does it make me look pretty, Matt?
Yes, Madrigal looks at you aghast, though. He's just like,
You're insane!
yeah. Basically, yeah.
It's like they give you the black spot and you wear it between your eyes. It's like,
Oh, it's a mark of pride. There we are. There you go.
It's very nice. I'm just going to put it Oh, there we go. Oh, doesn't that look lovely?
Could you just, for my sake, not
Sure.
Ryland's, remind me what the 3 cursed objects were?
The 3 cursed objects were the Hand of Gory, an ink pot, and a tongue that was under a glass case that you're pretty certain was looking at you.
And what did he say they did?
He didn't.
He doesn't know.
The only one he really said anything about was the Hand of Gory, which he notices you looking at again and then says,
It has a limited ability to make you invisible to the eyes of others. It can unlock doors, hence why that's chained up. And he points at the thing, and because the lock didn't work, because it kept opening it, it was a mess to deal with. If you buy it, I will... Well, I don't really have a user manual, but I'll tell you how you can use it. If you buy it, please buy it.
Please buy it.
Why the desperation, Magical?
Because I want to get rid of these items. They're not selling. Normally I don't put up the half-price stuff, but they've been sitting on the shelf now for nearly a year and a half.
How much would you want with the gory hand thingy?
Well, I kind of priced it at about... And he looks over at the little placard. I guess I priced it at 200 ducats, but with a 30% discount. In fact, if you know someone that might interest, I'd be willing to transfer the 30% discount to them.
Well, I'll pitch
Maybe you could make the difference up and you could ask them to, if they want to buy a 30% discount off someone.
Oh, you know what? I will let my travelling companions know. I'll give them the pitch, and we may be back. Magical, it's been a pleasure.
He lowers the blunderbuss and leans over and shakes your hand. He ducks back down, puts the blunderbuss away. Thank you for stopping by Madrigal's Magical Supplies. Have a good day. Best of luck with everything.
Think I'll need it.
And you step out into the street.
Am I immediately peppered with arrows?
No.
Yay!
But people are out and about now. There's a pretty big crowd of just regular commuters going from point A to point B. All the shops are open. It's one of those things where once you get out of, because Madrigal's shop was in a basement level entrance, once you get up the staircase and onto the street proper, the sound sort of hits you. But the other thing you notice is that there are far more guards on the street than there were before. Yesterday, maybe you'd see 1 or 2, like within eyeline. Now there's at least 30 just on this stretch of road alone. And they seem to be shaking down people, like patting them down, searching them, just stopping people. All elves, for the most part. Roll me a perception check. Because I imagine you're quite on edge.
Oh, just attacked. 4.
Okay, cool.
Have I rolled anything higher than a 4 today?
You did
so
get
far?
a 17, but it was one of 3, and you did get a 4 in the other one.
Rhylind, you're on the street.
Yes,
You're in Tinker's Corner.
yes. I'm marked for death,
A dragonborn on the run, shot through the heart, and you're to blame.
and I give love a bad name.
Damn straight.
Do I have a kind of, I guess, a geographical idea of where I am into relation to our original hotel?
Kind of.
Inn or whatever we're calling it?
So you remember there was the Tower of Ratu when you first came in, which
Yes.
was that sort of installation that was basically like a heavily defended causeway from one island to another, right?
Yeah.
But you also recall that there was a large structure that looked like a ruined tower or fort on the end of an island far further to sort of your northwest, because you come from the south. You, if you look to your right, can see that tower basically within eyeshot.
So I'm on the other side. of
Yeah.
the island. Okay.
Would you please roll me 3 perception checks?
Oh, God.
Just to cover the first part of your journey.
You're still wearing the rose?
Yeah, she's wearing it on a lapel.
Oh, yeah, I have no pluses for perception. 14. 4. 10.
Okay. People are giving you a little bit of a wide berth when they see the rose. They're it's not a press, but it's a pretty full street. And then every now and then someone will see that you're wearing a rose and you kind of get that part in the ocean for a moment.
I kind of discreetly just reach up and tuck it inside my shirt.
Yeah. And you notice that in the people that are passing by, there's a little bit of a murmur. You're not sure how much of it is actually something you're perceiving and how much is just paranoia. But you're pretty certain that a lot of the elves, for example, are kind of looking at you with a mixture of like intention and concern. And you see like cut purses slinking in like side alleys that kind of look at you, and like you get the impression that they would probably mark you for a target normally, but now they're just giving you a wide berth.
And this is all before I've hidden the rose? Do I notice a change after I tuck the rose inside my shirt?
Not really. But as you turn towards the concourse that brought you along this way earlier, you notice that there is a group of elves sort of just congregating near the side of a business. They all look at you and then start to move towards you.
Ah, crud.
It's about 7 of them.
Do I have an opportunity to slip away?
Yeah, you could try to hide or move in the other direction. They're making their way through a crowd. Like, it's still a pretty crowded street. There are still quite a lot of soldiers around as well. Like, much more military presence here than there was before. But they are effectively blocking your way forward.
I'm going to try and hide behind something. See if they'll pass me.
Okay. Roll me a stealth check.
19.
Okay. What were you thinking? Where were you thinking of hiding? There are a number of like small alleys that are not occupied. There are water barrels and drums that are having runoff come from a ceiling.
All right. I'm going to try and slip down an alleyway and hide behind like a water barrel or something. But I want to be able to like peek out.
Okay. The group that were following you walk past the alleyway. Like you crouch down and you can see them, right? They stop and they're looking around. And now that you're sort of at a different level, like you're not at like chest height, you're looking sort of like around like waist height, you can see they're carrying knives. Like they're not, they're subtle, but they're definitely carrying weapons.
Cool.
What's your passive perception?
10.
Okay. You were too intently watching the other group to hear the 2 elves come up behind you. Roll initiative.
I'm not even trying to get into all these fights now. I just want to find out where you guys are. 20 for initiative.
You're going first.
However, you are also surprised, so you will not get your actions this turn. So the 2 elves sneak up behind you and attempt to grapple and then restrain you.
I need you to make 2 opposed grapple checks.
Well, I'm going to use athletics because I get a +7.
Okay.
9 + 7, so 16.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck off dice tonight. 6 + 7, so 13.
Okay. The first elf kicks you in the knee and drops you to one leg as the other one tries to grab you around the throat. You are grappled and then restrained. However, it is also top of the order and it is your turn.
I'm going to stab him with my dagger.
Cool. That sounds good.
Rhylind is done with this shit today.
Yeah, that sounds
She
good.
wants a bath, she wants a woman, she wants a drink, and some fucking sleep.
Do it.
Don't we all?
Wasn't in a jail cell. Okay, Oh, fuck off. 10.
10? The dagger barely misses the guy.
I do have another attack. So I try again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 5 + 7 this time. Oh my god, that's like 12.
You're disadvantaged. Roll again.
Yeah.
Still 5.
That's fine. It hits.
Oh, yay. Does
Yeah.
it let me
Roll
go?
damage.
6.
6? Yeah. You're pretty certain you got this guy in like the liver.
So yeah, he lets go of you, falls over and is starting to clutch his stomach.
So I'm going to second wind so I can grapple the other guy and try and
Yep. Cool.
grab him, put my knife to his throat.
Cool.
Roll me an opposed grapple check. That's athletics.
14.
That does it. Yep. I imagine that you sort of just like, you stab this guy, you turn around, you grab the other one by like either the throat or like the back of the head.
Yeah, back of the head.
And then bring the knife up to him.
Okay, a lot of people have tried to kill me in the last day, and it's getting really boring. So what's your reason?
You think you can just stab the uncle or two and get away with it?
He tried to stab me first.
You are dead and you don't even know it.
Okay, so are you like all in on this? Or is it like...
Do you even know how much you're worth dead now?
Ooh, is it a lot?
300 ducats.
You know you can get a really nice hand of gory from a guy I know for that.
So what are you going to do?
Oh,
Kill me?
kill him.
Stab him till he dies.
Stab him in the dick.
Okay, so he's spent his entire turn talking to you about this. I need you now to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Matt. Can you just let me get out of this goddamn town, please? 16.
16? That's enough. You hear the sound of... You know when a skipping rope goes through the air?
Yes.
You barely miss a garrote that was aimed for your throat as the guy behind you that you thought was dead.
Stabbed him in the liver and he's okay.
No, he's not okay at all, but he got up
He tried to garrote me.
and tried to garrote you. And I think the guy who you had in the grapple was all full of vim and vinegar, and now he's like, oh shit, it's your turn.
So I still have this guy by the throat.
Grappled, you have you have advantage on attack.
Just to be clear, you don't have advantage. That's only if you're restrained, but you can still make your attack.
I'm going to stab him in the throat.
Okay, do it.
Oh, shit. 19.
8 damage.
All right, quick slash across his throat, and he drops like a sack of potatoes. Now, the man who tried to garrote you, he's clutching his wound.
He's still got the garrote in his... Well, he's clutching his wound with one of his hands, which has one of the ends of the garrote in it. And he looks at you, and he turns and tries to run away.
I'm going to try and stab him again.
Yep. All right, roll me an attack.
12 plus 7, so yes.
Yeah,
I
that
hit
hits.
him. 6 again.
How do you dispatch this guy? Because he's in the process of turning to run.
I'll stab him in the back. I'm not beyond that just yet.
Yeah.
Loot the corpses.
Yeah, and once you loot the course, there's a garrote.
Mm-hmm. Which I take.
There is about 30 shillings.
I also take that.
Yep. And the guy who you had by the throat actually had a mark on him, as well as...
A mark?
As in a silver coin. 30 copper pieces and 1 silver piece.
30
Yeah.
copper and 1 silver.
Yeah, and he has a dirty old dagger that he never took out, but it's in his pocket.
Yeah, fuck it, I'll take it.
Cool. All right, there are now 2 dead elves.
I am now up to 4 daggers. Sorry, I had 3, now I have 4. Nice.
Yeah.
Dirty and nasty.
Who cares? You can still stick it in people.
Yeah.
I clean the daggers that I've used to stab these guys off on their clothes. I want to make my way to the waterfront
Okay.
as stealthily as possible.
Cool.
Rhylind, covered in blood and a little wide-eyed, you step out into the floating market, noticing that several other pursuers are making their way towards you. Thankfully, in the crowd, you can see one Charlie Roughhouse.
Someone's daughter, and I don't kill children. So I told them that, and then he decided he was going to kill me. Apparently he's called the uncle of the two. Anyway, and so
That's a bit creepy.
Yeah, I know, and very cliche. And he set these men on me, and I may have killed 2 of them and cut the 3rd one in half, so I'm pretty sure he's dead. And I injured him and then convinced them to let me go, which they did. But they've also told everyone that they'll give them money if they kill me, so pretty much everyone in this town who's poor wants to kill me. So I get the whole going to Castellan plan, and you've actually met him at this point, but I just want to leave. I want to go as far away from here as possible, and I am bleeding quite a bit.
Still miming Rowan.
Yeah, I'm very hesitant to leave you by yourself in this state. Okay, so while you were dealing with these scum, I got into a big fist fight with the Jarl of a clan of Illic people and beat him, so I think I might be able to at least persuade him to tell Castellan not to lock you up and just let us leave.
That's very kind of you, Charlie. You know what? You keep rowing. I'm going to have a little nap.
Charlie would pull out, like, one of his pocket square napkin sort of thing to, like, give to Rhylind to... There's a bit more gauze, essentially. And just keep rowing.
I'm actually going to use one of my hit dice to...
This constitute a short rest? Yeah.
Half an hour.
Yeah.
2 zeros. That 10?
That's 10.
I'm back up to full health then.
Very nice. Cool. Okay. At approximately the same time as
Skairn, Abella, and Nezor leave the mansion. Rhylind and Charlie row up. You catch sight of each other. A few of you worse for wear, others with more information than they had previously had. And there is, I guess, a moment where you all sort of just lock eyes.
Charlie would have stepped from the boat and offered an arm to help Rhylind out.
Fair enough. I would run forward.
Skairn was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, not waiting at all.
We didn't know where Charlie had gone or to be worried for him.
Yeah.
But we were worried about Rhylind.
Who's covered in blood.
Charlie's just got a bit of a
I have killed a lot of people.
I was about to say, please tell me that's not yours.
Only some of it.
Okay.
Better than all of it.
So I know you don't want to like Castellan, but Abella has a letter for you from Castellan, which we definitely haven't read.
Okay, you definitely read it.
Damn it.
I'll go talk to Castellan.
No. We are all good. I have sorted it, including with the Rhylind.
Sorry, is Castellan alive?
No, he's good.
Okay, I just thought it was...
Charlie.
I thought it was Skairn.
Come on, let's be honest. That's not a...
I did what you thought. I
not an
thought,
unreasonable
what
thing
would
to
Charlie
ask.
do? And I didn't murder the guy.
Charlie will put a hand on your shoulder and have a really fatherly smile and go, I'm very proud.
And while he does that, Skairn goes, but he does want to kill my sister.
Well, must run in the family, mustn't it?
And while they're having that...
Rhylind is just a little bit blood drunk at the moment. It's just like...
but also we have actually read the letter, and he doesn't want to kill Abella. He doesn't want to kill Rhylind. He wants to protect her. I'm lost a little as to why, but I think it's an Earhart thing. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I hand over the letter saying, I'm so sorry, Skairn read it. We couldn't stop him.
Skairn doesn't even dignify that with a response.
I wasn't going to tell her!
It didn't need to be told.
She's not stupid.
Might I suggest, we know the letter's telling her she's safe. She'll understand it's telling her she's safe. May we get her safe? Because obviously something's happened here.
Yeah, let's do that.
As you turn, a column of troops marches towards you. There are about 12 of them, and there is a black carriage drawn by 2 horses that pulls up behind.
Charlie would immediately step forward, in front of Rhylind.
Abella's going to immediately step back behind everyone else.
The door is opened by one of these soldiers, and another soldier walks up to you 5 and goes, with Castellan's compliments, he said to see you safely back to your lodgings.
Charlie would ease up, because he was puffed up.
The beer gut goes out again. And Skairn goes, thank you. Very kind.
And I'm just going to whisper, what did you say to the guy?
So Skairn goes, it turns out my diplomacy is more than +3. He offers his arm to Rhylind, like, Lady Rhylind, and looks you in the eye with the direct intention of going, it's good.
There may be a group or a cult or something that wants to kill me.
I can't wait to go on a blood path with you. Let us dance on the red snow together.
So this carriage loads you up, and it's quite pleasant. It's got suspension. It's actually quite heavily armoured as well. It's very thick wood, and it has those sort of metal grates that you can pull down to cut the light, which they do because they are not taking any chances. 4 of the guards hop on. They've got muskets. They've got their blades. They are the troops that Castellan clearly held in reserve. Mm-hmm. And you travel through much of the retrod ground that you've already been through, over the bridge into a small conservational park, somewhere where you'd see well-to-do couples socialising, through a rougher part of town, something that looks decidedly industrial for horses, and then, yes, back over the floating market. And there's a little moment of tension, but the blood has been cleaned, the bodies have been removed, guards are posted pretty much everywhere. Rhylind spends most of the journey in silence, reading her letter, and you all share the details of your day. Once you step out, you see the little old lady, the proprietress,
Viola Dubois come out squinting. She sees you, Rhylind. She sees you, Charlie. She sees the rest of you and goes, "Would you like something to eat?"
Skairn smiles to himself. Viola, that sounds delightful.
Okay, Charlie's never met this woman, so I want to roll an inside check.
Sure.
Charlie basically assumed that we got tricked and got kidnapped by this old lady. 23, so when the old lady's sort of like, is she like an evil old lady? Do I like...
This woman does not appear to have any ill will towards you. Viola goes up to you, Abella, and takes your hand in hers and goes, "Dear, could you help me with something for a moment, please?"
Oh, of course, Viola.
So she takes you into the back room, into a nice little kitchen/lounge area, and she sets about making a pot of tea. And she goes, "I just thought I'd make a nice cup of tea, and you could tell your auntie everything."
Thank you for listening to this episode of There Be Dragons. I am your Dungeon Master Matthew, and Abella DeRosier was played by Angela Leda Kay. Charlie Roughhouse was played by Tristan Doust. Nezor Valghoorlis is played by Tom Moore, who also acts as our sound recordist. Rhylind Westfall is played by Keren Schlink, and Scan Fellspar is played by Joshua Walker. If you're interested in supporting the podcast, please consider checking out our Patreon at patreon.com/therebedragons for additional material and content. You can also check out our website at therebedragonscast.com. There Be Dragons is produced and edited by Matthew Buss. There Be Dragons' original score is composed by Sean Tanian. You can find more of his work at seantanianmusic.com. There Be Dragons art is produced by Brianna Manning. That's it for this episode. Thanks for listening.